Welcome, everybody, to the Making Awesome podcast. This is episode 236. We're talking all about tool changers, specifically one of the new ones on the market, the Snapmaker U1, but looking at how tool changers have been changing the industry in the past couple of years. So thank you for hanging out. Jacob, you want to kind of go into what's been going on with these tool changers, the ones that exist currently, the ones that don't? We can kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how many people are aware, but Snapmaker has released quite a good new video of an upcoming tool changer platform. And it looks like a really nice, quite cute machine. I will give it to their industrial designers. They've really done a good job polishing it,
It's clean.
but it's a clean machine. It looks like you take a Bamboo Lab P1S series and then just merge it with a Prusa XL, and they've just smashed it together and it looks great. It also looks like there's a bit of the A1 series aesthetics put in the
Yeah,
mix,
yeah.
especially with some of the spool holders on the side look mightily similar.
Well, the XL has its spool
But
holders
yeah.
on the side too, so
Well, no, have you seen them?
yeah,
They're that three.
yeah. They're that weird little grabby, yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah, the claw.
I don't hate that style of spool holder. I actually quite like it, but the way the Prusa XL does it is also acceptable. The way the Core 1 does it is also acceptable. The way the Mark IV does it is also acceptable. There are many acceptable ways to do it. The A1 specifically runs into issues with tighter spool diameters, where not every spool fits it. And if your spool particularly is cardboard, where it's not the same diameter all the way through, it can get a little bit iffy and can have a tendency to slide off of it. I do like that system though, because it ensures that it's grabbing the spool from the entire ID of the spool rather than it just having to, basically grind itself into your existing spool holder. But I'm hoping that Snapmaker has seen some of the issues with the A1 and its AMS light, where not every spool fits, and some of you really just have to slam them in there. And it's not that it breaks anything, it just doesn't pull confidence, if you will, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't exude confidence the same way that just putting it on a hook does. you know,
Yeah,
it,
there's something to say about the basics work, and you guarantee they will work because there's
yeah.
nothing that could go wrong. Whereas having this honestly quite nice looking claw-esque grabbing function does have its benefits, because one of the main benefits is you guarantee it's not going to fall off if something happens. It grabs through the hole
Mhm.
against the inner bit of the spool so it can't pull it off. Brilliant. And you can hide a spring on the inside so it retensions itself without needing a manual slash, would you call it a manual respooler, or would you call it an automated respooler?
Oh, like an automated
When
rewinder of sorts.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go manual. I'm gonna call it a manual. So when it respools based on a spring, that is a nice thing to add.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, uh, um, I
Yeah.
personally prefer the standard. Just give it a rod, make it stupid, because stupid can't break at all.
Yeah. I mean, I have the original ones for the XL that are printed. The XL now does injection molded ones, and it still works. There. I don't know. There's part of me that's of the opinion of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I also recognize that if we were always about that, and it was always if it ain't broke, don't fix it, then we'd never have anything that was unique and special and different. Um, but yeah, whatever. Um, I don't mind it. I just hope that they've kind of dealt with some of those issues. The same way that we can deal with the issues of letting people know to leave a like, get subscribed. If you are joining the stream live, there is an entry form for printed solid filament giveaway. And throughout the entirety of the stream, we will be having a 10% off coupon code running on the Packet Loss shirt on shop.3dmusketeers.com. And that is FUISP10. Gets you 10% off of the Victoria Packet Loss shirt. So if you wanted to,
You know what's really ironic about that?
what?
The moment you said packet loss, you lost one packet
Oh
on
yeah, I
my
can
side.
actually see that I have some dropped frames. That's hilarious.
Oh,
Even better.
They're
I was just
actively
doing it
trying
because
to stop you selling it.
yeah, I was just doing it because yesterday we were down for a few hours, and so I just thought, oh, that'll be funny. But no, yep, 415 frames have been dropped. But that's the nice thing with recording. We can, it is what it is. Hopefully it doesn't kill our connection to each other, but I'm doing everything I can, okay? But yeah, huge thank you to the sponsors of the show. We've got Construct 3D for the UK's fastest 3D printer, the world's first bamboo 3D printer, and a business class machine built for business class environments with some of the most ridiculous and rigorous safety testing that you've probably ever seen. Machines that are so dummy thick, you have to spell it with at least 3 C's. Check them out at construct-3d.com. This is what I love about not having a script when it comes to
I am never
the
giving you a
reads.
script.
It's way more
ever.
fun. It's way more fun to just go for it. But that means that you have to do the one for our other sponsor, 3D Musketeers.
Well, if you're ever in need of no, bloody hell, you put me on the spot. I knew
You
this
did
was
it.
coming.
You did it last time, okay?
I did. But no, if you're ever in need of 3D scanning services, 3D printing consultancy, 3D printing services, or just want to have a chat with one of the smartest people on the planet when it comes to additive and 3D manufacturing, 3DM is the place to go. 3D Musketeers has helped me so much in the past. I personally use them, and that is a really, really hard thing to get me to do because I know a lot and I have an ego that's bigger than that. So 3D Musketeers, go to them. They're actually really good. Like, do it. They make cool stuff.
Cool.
That was awful.
Hey.
I will eventually just get a couple of bullet points. Just be like, make sure I talk about this, make sure I talk about this, make sure I talk about this, and then riff off the rest.
You know what? As long as you're having fun, that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Honestly, I find just the honesty of just you're really damn good sells more than a script. That's my personal opinion. You have given me such esoteric advice on the most out there questions.
But some of it I've been completely wrong on, man. There are some of those things where we finally figured out we're like, this is stupid. I'm like, I'm not even certain how we could apply this to a Print Fix Friday episode because the answer is nothing that was like what the problem was surrounded by. It's so weird. It's so weird. But, that's part of the deal where we want to help people get their machines running. And, we're not going to necessarily charge for that as long as you're not abusing it, right? So if someone calls me 3 times in a week, okay, now we're starting to work on a consultancy thing versus, hey, I just need help real quick. But yeah, you can call the shop number, just not during the show unless we tell you to. So we are going to be working on that whole call-in thing. But that has been put on the side right now as we are pushing to, bring on editors and things like that to build the show out. As you can see, Jacob has made some serious upgrades, not only his background, but his lighting. I won't do those things because I have to. This machinery still has to be useful for me. But potentially,
look, I had the lights just sitting around. I might as well put them to use.
Just sitting around.
I
as
bought
Thomas,
a bed sheet. I put it up behind me, and now
you do the bed sheets.
It looks great,
dude. They're awesome.
I was worried it makes the room feel thinner, but putting the key lights onto the sides and I feel like a proper YouTuber.
You look like one too. Now it looks like I'm the guest rather than the other way around. But you know what? That's okay. I am always the guest. Ultimately, the fans are the actual host of the show. We are just their muse, if we will. But yeah, if you do want to enter to win some awesome printed solid filament, links are in that pinned chat message. And of course, outside of these couple of ad reads that we will do throughout the episode, these shows are brought to you completely ad-free. And if you do want to support that ad-free system, you could do so by kicking a couple of bucks in super chats and things like that. And if you do have any like big things that you want us to guarantee that we see, a super chat is always the best way to do it. So, Snapmaker. I guess I should put out there that we've worked with them in the past. We worked with them on the A350T. And suffice to say, that collaboration did not go very well. I read their terms of service and basically rage quit the stream because it was such a bad terms of service, and it got their attention. They they fixed it, but it doesn't change what I got. And it's frustrating because those machines were out in the wild for quite a bit before we got one to take a look at. And so I know there are creators out there that already have the U1. We are not one of them. So I can tell you that we don't have one. I'm assuming that we're blacklisted from Snapmaker, so I'll just put that out there immediately, that I think we're blacklisted, but we have reached out, just haven't heard anything back yet, to get one of these machines because, tool changers specifically excite the hell out of me. I was a day one pre-order of the Prusa XL. Like, day one. Waited over 2 freaking years to get one. Right? And I thought I had it for a lot longer than I did. We did the build in November of 2023. So I've only had it for, like, just a hair under 2 years. It feels like I've had that machine a lot longer. And while it has had its quirks, its cooling is subpar in my personal opinion. But the machine itself has been, once you kind of work around those quirks, which is not too difficult to do, it has been
To be fair, cooling for a tool changer will always be difficult because you have to fight with the changing part for a optimal cooling solution.
Well, and unless your cooling is somehow built into the carriage system, you have to run individual cooling ducts for every single tool head. In my opinion, it would have made sense to do like a CPAP cooling system or something like that on the XL that attaches to the printer carriage. You've got a lot of real estate there that you can attach stuff to, so I know there are community modifications for it, which I do think are quite nice, but I do enjoy that kind of thing, where Prusa does enable you to do those upgrades, where other manufacturers simply won't. So, and for those of you that are new to like Prusa and all of that, their entire transparency about their Core 1 VFA issues has been tremendous. I have never seen transparency like that from any other manufacturer in this industry, period. That's a big deal. It's a big deal to me, at least. David Connor Shover with the $10 saying, Roxanne!
You don't have to put on the red light.
That was the €2 from Thomas. Does Jacob even get that reference, though?
Oh, come on. I
right,
listen
Jacob,
to music.
Who sang it?
No. This is entrapment.
See, that's it.
You're asking for names. I am not a name person.
All right, who's the band? Who's the band?
No idea.
Really?
It's on my personal album.
NWA made an entire song about this band.
Nope. You're asking for names. I am not a name person. I put the song on, I go, yeah, that's a bop, and then that's it.
NWA made an entire song about this band. Come on. Do you even know who NWA is?
No, I don't know names.
God.
I am the best music listener.
I'm
because I listen to everything, but I never remember the names, so I can never go back to them. So I save them every time, and that's it. What's really awkward though is I've got a niece called Roxanne, and I actually can't unthink of the song every time I hear them call her name.
It's the Police. The Police sang the song Roxanne.
See, this is entrapment.
I'm
just not good with names.
Oh, okay. So now all of a sudden the police are involved. It's now entrapment. Well, what are you, a First Amendment auditor in the U.S.? Get over yourself.
Oh no, our police are good over here.
I mean, that's fair. You know,
But if
the
it
old,
makes you feel any better, it literally took me like 2 to 3 years to remember my best friend's name. And this is after he gained best friend status.
oh
I
no.
still didn't know his name.
Well, it is the police. So,
There we go. Now I'm going to remember.
Spore Luck with the $20 saying blacklisted, but you keep your integrity, or be a shill that looks the other way. All right, I'm gonna go into that real quick because it bothers me when. So, I don't think it's one or the other. I think that you're able to do both, right? That you're able to have an opinion, but also not be a shill. Okay. I don't like the way the word shill is thrown around in this industry because it's like anytime you seem to work with a company over and over and over again, you're seen as a shill. And I don't like that because that's not what we are. People like what they like. I know Sam Prentice has one of these machines. I don't think Sam's a shill. I think Sam does a very, very good job of being incredibly professionally political when it comes to how he talks about his machines, right? Where he's not going to really dig in and gut punch them like I will, but it also means that Sam gets a lot more opportunities than we do. And our channels are somewhat at the same size at this point. Although I know he's larger than us, but we're within like 10K of each other. So I don't look at Sam and say that he's a shill. I don't look at a lot of other people in this industry and say that they're shills. I just say that they're more political than I'm willing to be because I want it to be raw like anybody else would see it. Does that make me right and him wrong? No. Does it make him right and me wrong? No. It's personal preference in the way that we do business. So I just want to put that out there.
It's almost like the difference between entertainment and film creation and all of that,
right,
versus reality.
Right.
You are more of the reality YouTuber, whereas they are doing a very good job being entertainment YouTubers or edutainment YouTubers. Like there's a difference in mindset, and that doesn't mean either are wrong.
Look at the quality of the videos that Sam produces. Sam produces very high quality videos. I simply can't do it at his level right now because I don't possess the skills, the tools, and more specifically, the space. I don't have the space for it. So we want to get there, but I don't know if people understand how small this little shop is. It is 10 feet wide from wall to wall and 17 feet long. That's it. That's why you don't ever see me really filming in other positions in this shop, is because it's 170 square feet. You know, so it's 3 meters by 5 or so. So, you know, just something to point out. More space gives you opportunities, but he's also got a great mindset. He's been in the industry. He's done, you know, movie shown props and things. So
he is so good at what he does.
Yes. And each creator in the industry is good at what they do. Yes, there are some to me that just scream, pay me and I'll say it. We don't talk about them. But Sam, not a shill, to be clear. Andrew Rogers with the $20 for the Super Shill Fund. Barbusno, I'm going to really butcher that name constantly. Saying Prusa XL is my all-time favorite printer. I've got 2 of them, both enclosed. They put out the best quality, most reliable, and consistent prints. Winslow Joy with the $10 for the ad-free stream. Thank you very much to all of you. I like my XL, but I will say it is not always the most consistent machine, but it has a lot to do with me remembering the settings that I have to put in it and remembering to choose the right profiles. I also have not done any maintenance to it since I got it. So no belt tightening,
that's a testament
no tuning.
to it being a good machine.
Yeah, I just
like if you can run a machine and do no maintenance,
yeah,
that is quite good. Because a lot of people don't really realize how much maintenance goes into traditional manufacturing machines. Like whenever I turn my CNC on, I am guaranteed 4 hours of maintenance before I actually get that running every single time. A 3D printer is surprising how little maintenance you actually need.
And those of you that follow Reprinted on Twitter, you'll see that he's been having some struggles with his XL. It is going back to printed solid, but before that, I ran the same file that he ran. He could not get it to print well at all. I had one layer shift. It's the He-Man hair file. I had one layer shift, and it was exactly where I told him it was going to layer shift. I said, it's going to layer shift here. You need support here. He's like, yeah, but it's not, it's not, it doesn't matter. It's on the inside. I said, I understand that, but I have a feeling as it tries to do these bridges, it's not going to succeed very well. It's going to raise an edge a little bit, and it's going to cause a layer shift. And it did. But otherwise, the print came out absolutely beautifully. Ran in 17 hours, no issues whatsoever. But that was also only a single color, single tool head print. So really all you needed was just a big machine to do it. But, the XL to me, while it has a lot of specific problems that make it a bit of a pain in the butt, once you learn how to work through them, it's a really decent machine. I'm not going to say it's a perfect machine. It's far from perfect. But is a very decent machine from a company that recognizes the fact that it's a decent machine, that it's not a perfect machine.
That's the big difference between a usable piece of equipment and an unusable one is once you've learned how to use it, it stays the same method. In this case, you could see that will be a problem from experience, where an unusable machine will just randomly fail.
Right.
And it's that consistency of knowing how the behavior of the machine works to how you need to treat it to get the output. And it's the one thing that is honestly the thing that lets a lot of cheaper machines down is quality control drops that standard of, oh, it's always going to fail at this point, to it might fail at this point, it might fail above, it might fail below. You can't have that level of questioning if you're trying to rely on something. Even if it's a bad machine but is reliable, is better than a good machine that's unreliable. Just because if you can rely on, I do this, it does this outcome, you can work with that. If you don't know what the outcome is, you can't work with that. At least that's my opinion.
It's my opinion too. I'd rather have a machine that is built from a company, like I'd rather have an XL than, no offense to E3D, but the E3D TOOLCHANGER. That the E3D TOOLCHANGER,
it's so bittersweet. It's such a good machine, and it flopped so badly. It had all the makings of a good printer, but also none of the, I don't want to be too mean, but I'm gonna be, because there's no way to like.
There's none of the support. It had none of the support.
There was none of the support, and it kind of missed the point. Well, like it was a tool changer and it was great, but they marketed it really awkwardly.
As a motion platform.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, it is one of the most robust tool changing systems that I've ever seen and used, period. But it is also one of the most pain in the ass systems to work on because it is built like a Swiss watch. When it works, that the whole like tightening system of it is beautiful. But I think it was too early for its time, and I think it was marketed just vastly incorrectly. And that's kind of what we see.
There's a reason I see it always at universities. I never see it in the wild. It's always at university or research hubs. Like, we've just had a military contractor come to us complaining about tool changers, and one of them is the E3D tool changer. And it's really awkward because they say it, and then the next sentence they say is how amazing it was when it worked.
Yeah, that's my experience with the tool changer as well. And unfortunately, this has been a bit of a history for E3D, where E3D should, and I hate to say it, but they really should just stay in their lane of making hot ends and hot end parts, because the two times they tried to make 3D printers, it didn't go very well. We have the big box, which just, no, it didn't work. It was a Kickstarter machine. It got funded, but it flopped, right? Tool changer. And the big box was a great idea. Again, I think it was a little too early for its time. The tool changer, again, very similar, very cool machine. The tool changer was built with, well, not a budget in mind, I'll tell you that much. They used a lot of premium materials on that machine.
Yup. That machine was expensive to make.
It was, and I don't
expensive
think
to
they made a
make.
lot of profit on that machine. But man, just to see it work is super cool. Like,
It did instantly become a classic of the industry.
like you see
Like,
it now, and it just kind of warms your
gorgeous.
heart. Like, if an E3D tool changer came up locally for a decent price, I would buy it. Straight up, I would buy it. I
Oh, yeah.
would not argue a dime. You know, if it was, say, 500 or less, I wouldn't argue. I would just go buy it. Because to me, that's a piece of 3D printer history, and that's something that we as a community, we're not going to get back. Right? It is a cool system, but yeah, I think the tool changer was a little bit too early for its time, and E3D I don't think was prepared to properly support such a system.
Yeah. I feel like they paved the way for everybody else, but didn't realize how screwed our country is for making machines. Like they have such genius intellect over at E3D, but I think this is actually part of the problem. They were too good at what they did.
They were.
Where if you try to make a machine cheaper, you suddenly learn which corners you can cut, and it makes things easier. And because of that, and they didn't need to do it because they were focused on the best, the support became the crux. Whereas if they made it cheaper, maybe made it weaker, it probably would have been easier to support.
Yeah. It
That
might
leads
have
us
been.
on to nowadays, where
Machines
they
are
warped,
cheaper.
so the Prusa XL can run,
Yeah.
the Snapmaker U1 can come out, and then all of these new, well, what is it, like the Proforge, the tap changer from Voron, basically
Index.
everything that isn't the not the Index. Basically everything that isn't Index and the Prusa XL uses the E3D style locking mechanism.
Because it works. And
That's
dude,
how good it is.
the lockup for it was so nice. They use a very, very good gear reduction system to give it like just proper freaking lockup. Shane Christensen with the $20 saying, "Is this where I donate to see Grant and Jacob put a Bondtech tool changer on an Ender 3?" I mean, you can, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I'm putting Index on many other machines, not an Ender 3.
Both of us have plans for the Index. I've made it very clear. SV08 for me is where an Index is going to live. I think that is like, see, and this is where it's like, do we classify Index as a tool changer? Because
I would.
Yeah, but if you just buy Index,
I classify
it's
a tool
nothing.
changer by the actual heat block.
Okay.
Obviously, Index doesn't really have a heat block, but
No.
if you change the heat block, I would say you change the tool.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how it's done. If you're changing the blocks, in my eyes, that is a tool changer.
Yeah. And yeah, Sip of Coffee says, tap, click, and stealth changer use way different mechanisms at E3D. That's fair. They do. They're a much more simple mechanism for the Voron style tool changers. But I will say, if
I'd
you
argue against that.
No,
I think they're much more complicated.
Well, the lockup isn't. So the lockup.
No, I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's deviously simple, but hyper complicated. Because the E3D one is a motor, a gear reduction, and a spring that locks and pulls. That's fairly simple. That's literally, you've made a key. Whereas the tap changer, the switch changer, I can't remember the other one.
Tap, stealth, and click, I believe.
Tap, stealth, and click. They rely a lot on like passive mechanisms with zero moving parts to work.
Right.
Meaning the amount of trial and error and like perfect mating they have to do to get the same is so much more complicated to develop. So while it's simpler to put together as a final here as a piece because it's done.
It's initial
I
development.
think that is so much more complicated than the EVD stuff.
But when you look at it from a user perspective, the Voron style changers are going to be more reliable because they don't have this really fiddly motor system that if it is not dead nuts on, it completely ceases to be decent. So that's there's always like this positive and negative, and I think hilariously Prusa found that happy medium of a non-motorized but still mechanical lockup system. I grabbed one of the tool heads off my XL. It will complain, so if you don't shut off the machine when you take a head off, it's going to yell at you. Just be aware of that. But this is a bone stock Prusa XL tool head. And these right here, these two pieces, that's your mechanism. And then there's a slide lock that really digs everything in. You've got the three brass nuts effectively on there. They're like acorn nuts basically that help kind of align it and position it. And then the lockup is when the two sliding pieces slide across. And for as dummy simple as this is, son of a gun, it works well. And it makes such a satisfying click. The click is so satisfying, and it's why I love it so much. Oh, it's so good. It's like a bolt-action rifle style of sound. Half of the reason that you like it is because the sound
just sets the neurons on fire.
Oh,
it's
it
like,
does.
Oh, yes.
It does. And like, I've seen the testing systems for Prusa. Like, I've seen how they do it. We couldn't film it. They never said I couldn't talk about it. But they had an XL with dial indicators on it that would determine runout on the system. And so they did tens of thousands of tool changes. I think it was 100,000. This was 2 years ago, so my memory is not amazing. But they measured like in double-digit microns of deviation. That's it. Like, you're talking like 10 or 15 microns of deviation.
Really
that's nothing, right? That's such a big deal in this industry, which is repeatability and error stacking. And the XL has a great way to deal with that. Again, the XL, for all of the things it does wrong, there are so many things that it does right. And its calibration system is quite good. And I'm hoping that the Snapmaker U1 has something relatively similar. Real quick, Mad Max saying, what time, hilariously, does the food podcast start? Member for 18 months. Thank you, sir. And the Nocturnist gifting 10 memberships. Thank you, sir. Are you not? I figure you must not be working today. So, yo. We got Rob Lutter F. You gave yourself a membership, which is hilarious. The Nocturnist received a gift membership by the Nocturnist. That's hilarious to me.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yep, I didn't know it was possible either. I've never seen it happen before. Seek got one. Tactical Printing, Mr. Grinch, Scope UK, Ivan Jovic, Mahendra Dungal, maybe, and Mark Burton all got one. Thank you, the Nocturnist, for giving out those memberships. And there's some really, really awesome behind-the-scenes content for you guys that is available. And theoretically, in the next couple of days, we'll be releasing like a 2-hour 360 video. So that should be fun.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a membership, now is the time to sign one up. It's $10 or higher for the Patreon or YouTube membership, and then you get access to that as well. And it is really quite good.
He said he was trying to do a super chat, but it wouldn't let him, but it let him do the memberships. So, yeah. And yes, the XL is loud, Chris Catlett. I don't disagree. The noise is from its motion system more than it is from the clicking of it. But honestly, I don't hate it. It reminds me a lot of like older machines, and there's a little bit of warmth there for me. But the way that the XL does its tool alignment, I still think is one of the best ways that I've seen tool changer alignment done, outside specifically of the outside of using like an Ember Prototype CXC camera, where you're using like a camera with fiducials to really kind of align your nozzles perfectly. The XL uses a pin system. So it's very similar to like a Renishaw probe for your CNC machines, where it uses a touch probe system to align both X, Y, and Z on multiple areas. So it's negative X, positive X, negative Y, and positive Y. I think could be wrong on those. And then you have Z.
The Prusa XL put 0, 0 in the close left, right?
No, I don't. You know what? I don't know this.
The direction it homes in doesn't necessarily mean that's the 0, 0 position.
0, 0 is in the front left.
Front left.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So it'll be positive Y goes deeper into the machine. So yeah, you were right.
Dale Blackburn's asking if the XL is louder than a Centauri Carbon. Not having a Centauri Carbon, couldn't tell you. The XL is more of a mechanical noise.
Light loudness.
Well, the XL is a mechanical noise, where the Centauri Carbon's all like just fan noise, lots of fan noise. So, and also Thomas, member for 27 months, saying after all these months, the membership will pay off. I hope so. Hope you're enjoying it. Don't forget to like the stream as well. We have 41 likes, 112 people watching, and use code FUISP for 10% off of the Packet Loss shirt on shop.3dmusketeers.com, because, why not? Have a little fun while we do it, right? So let's talk about what we know about the Snapmaker.
I wanted to actually go back to something you said.
Okay.
Because I have some bad news for you. So you said you hope the Snapmaker uses a Prusa style attachment.
We know
I don't
it
think it does.
Well,
I think it is using the E3D style. So there's a keyway right in the middle of the tool head, and that would just make sense if it did it that way. That is getting clipped instantly, but okay.
I wasn't gonna clip it, but now you said it, so I have to do it now. Like it's the law. But I'm not certain that really matters. So when the tool changer system worked, it was really, really, really good. Like really good. So I don't actually have an issue with that. I think Prusa developed a system that does the tool changing without needing another motor. And that's important. And it can also detect whether or not it's properly latched. So if the XL isn't properly latched for some reason, it knows it and it can alert you. I think it uses a Hall effect sensor to determine that. And it works well in my experience. I've never had it drop a tool, but I know a few people in our server that have had tools drop. My machine, hilariously, has, in terms of like picking up and setting down tools, amazing. I've never had issues with it. But certainly, I'm upset with Snapmaker because of their using Kickstarter, but at this point, I just don't know. Like, can we still be mad at companies for this? Like, are we allowed to be mad at companies for using Kickstarter like a marketing platform when it's like
kind of want to say stuff, and I feel like I'm going to be the bad guy for saying it, but I think we have to blame the people now. I feel like Skinner from The Simpsons being like, is it the children? No, it's this.
Yeah.
Like, I feel it's now on us.
Or on Kickstarter.
We have enabled it. I don't even blame Kickstarter. I just think we've enabled these companies to utilize the platform as just marketing. What I don't like, however, is this absolute bullshit Kickstarter, where you go on the website to pre-order your Kickstarter pre-order. That I don't like, and I hate that it works, and I'm going to call everyone who does it out, because why? Just wait for the Kickstarter. That's the whole point of Kickstarter. Why
They're
are you giving them more money
they're trying to lock
to
in
just
the
do a
money now.
Kickstarter?
Well, the companies want the
Yeah,
profit, and they want to take that money as early as possible because they can take that money and invest it. Even if the people don't convert it to some sort of sale, they're able to invest that capital that comes in. But a company like Snapmaker isn't thin on capital. What is interesting to me is when we first saw leaks of this machine, it was a Snapmaker and Xtool collaboration. It no longer is. It is just a Snapmaker machine. So I'm very curious to learn the behind the scenes on that, what happened, or if what we all saw, those original photos, if it was a shop of some sort, like where we were duped into believing that it was a, you know, joint partnership or something like that, where clearly it wasn't. I don't know. But I'm very curious to understand that one.
yeah.
But
But no, so yeah,
the machine
yeah, I
itself,
don't know.
though, it looks good, right? It's pretty, which, as far as tool changers go, I don't think that we've seen a pretty machine that is a tool changer, right? The
Yeah.
XL is engineering pretty, but it doesn't pass
It,
like that spousal approval factor. It's
the
too...
XL has a face only the engineers could love.
Yeah, you know what? That's pretty fair. And when you put the enclosure on it, it becomes this behemoth of a machine. Versus, you know, something like a Core 1. The Snapmaker does kind of package that up better. And let's be fair, I mean, that is what China has just done better, right? They've just done this whole packaging of a machine better than anybody else, right? Ever since Bamboo hit, and they've shown that consumers not only care about like the way the machines function, but they care about the way they look. Everybody else has kind of gotten that, and I'm glad. Because while I like machines that only an engineer could love, those are fun because I have an engineering mindset. I don't care how they look. I just want them to function. Having them look good is actually a benefit as well. Like a dumb thing with the XL, I hate the spool holders on the side. I hate them.
Really?
Yeah.
Where would you put them?
I want them off the machine, which I'm going to do at some point, because now the machines have to be so far apart from each other because you need enough space to pull a spool out and then take it out. And it's like, this takes up so much more shelf space than it should. I don't have a better solution. You can't fit them on the inside anywhere. You could put them on the back, but that's just as bad as putting it on the side because it's now impossible to get to. But if you notice, behind me, I've got Prusa spool holders holding spools because I don't like spools on machines. I like them off machines. The XL, because it's 5, is a pain in the butt because instead of just 2 Prusa spool holders with a spool on each side, now I need a third one. And that takes up a lot more space than you think. The U1, maybe because of their system with the clamping, might have that spool holder be smaller, physically smaller, than what the XL has. Don't know.
Yeah, like I think the U1 system is quite nice because it is a smaller machine. I'm not entirely confident what the size is. I don't think they've actually announced what the actual size is, though. It would not surprise me if it is the 256, 256, 256 that we've all come to know and love from every single company. Definitely not trying to copy Bamboo Labs.
Yep.
But because it's only for 1 kilo reels, it's not going to be that wide. It's going to be a probably standard width for the printer and then 2 spools on the side. That is an acceptable amount of width.
With a 256, it is. Yeah. If you go to the 365 that the XL is, okay, now she starts to get a little chunky, right? You know, now you're getting into the territory of 2C's thick, right? Like it becomes, you can't just plop it on a shelf and say, I'll put the spools wherever. You have to think about where you put these machines so that you can utilize the available shelf space as much as possible. To be clear, it is what it is, right? Like, I don't have a better solution, so I just use the stock spool holders for my XL. but I want a better solution. I just don't have an idea of how to get that. I just want it. Which is, to me, the most annoying, like, type of consumer. It's like, I don't like this, but I don't have a way to fix it. That's, like, the most annoying type of consumer. And that's why you don't really hear me complain about it, because I want something better. I'm just not physically equipped to provide it.
It doesn't mean you're wrong, though. It just means you're not equipped to be able to answer it.
Right,
and
that's
is a
why
very big difference.
And that's why I don't complain about it, because if I'm not equipped to answer it or at least address it in a meaningful way, then I don't complain about it, because then you're just complaining to complain. You're not complaining with a solution. You know, and there are some other issues with the XL, like the Bowden tubes and the, again, some small...
To be fair, that is universal between a lot of machines. Like, a lot of the consumables are always going to be the issue points on most printers.
Yeah.
Look at, like, the Bamboo Lab AMS, where the Bowden tubes in the AMS unit are stupidly designed in an inaccessible way. Like, it just comes part and parcel of a developing industry, I think. I do think we like to rag on the XL just because we've got one in hand. It is a good machine, though.
Like, you know what I honestly hope for? I hope for, like, the MMU4, but a dummy version of it that I could put on the front of an XL and then feed the spools out of it.
That would be neat.
That would be super cool.
That would be neat.
Is that going to happen? Probably not, but it'd be super freaking cool. Mr. Grinch says, have I shared my shelf-mounted spool holders? Yes, they're on printables.
You know what we haven't done yet? We haven't actually explained to the viewers what the Snapmaker actually is.
Have we missed
like
that
just
part?
like raw features? We completely skipped it.
Did someone call us out and say that we missed it?
No, I am. I'm calling you out.
Oh.
I'm calling us out because I realized you were going to do it and then I interrupted and then it never happened.
All right, hit it.
Cool. So, Snapmaker U1. It has 4 wheels, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. Printer goes in the middle. They are advertising a speed of 300 millimeters per second of printing, maximum 500 for travel moves, though take all of that with a grain of salt because we don't know what the quality is at those speeds. 20,000 acceleration, which is good, but also means nothing until we see the slicer presets, because that's what you're actually going to use, as well as whatever the jerk or square corner velocity is, because that actually impacts the overall speed more than the accelerations. One of the key things that they are outlining, and this is something we should probably touch on after this little list, is they are very particular about the alignment of the tools. So they're saying there's a 0.04 millimeter XY tolerance to when it picks up the tools, which I think is going to be really interesting.
That's not bad, but it's not great.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they're picking up on it. Like that tool alignment is a thing.
We do in the chat from Polymaker, so I'm going to go ahead and call that a confirmed source. Say that the confirmed build volume of the U1 is 270 cube.
Well, that's good. You know what? I actually like that.
That's
Having
a good
it a
size.
bit bigger than the 256 is a nice size.
But that means I can't use the build plates that I currently have in stock. That means now there's another build plate standard out there.
I'll be fine.
It's fine. Big Tree Tech, Fabrico, and others are foaming at the mouth saying, yes, more build plate sales.
You're not going through that many build plates to justify having an ecosystem.
It's that I want... You know, I want a Honey Badger plate. I'm going to try these new ones from... What's the one that Luke's Lab recommended? I always forget their name. There's one that Luke's Lab recommended. They were at Rocky Mountain. We couldn't film with them because of space constraints. I'm trying out the Cryo Grip plates. I've got the plates from the Shawl Slice Works. Tyson build plates. Thank you, Nadir. Yeah, the Sliceworks plates are great. I want to try the Tyson build plates. There are all these, like, build plates that I want to try. Now it's like, oh, another standard. That means I have to buy all these plates for this machine, too. And then I got to have a place to store them. So, yeah, but 270 millimeter, that's so
big.
You can market it as bigger than a bamboo.
Yep.
Right.
It's actually quite noticeably bigger than a bamboo.
Well, it is smaller than the H2D, but, you know, if its price point is under an H2D, which I expect it to be, Snapmaker has generally been pretty aggressive on their pricing, but they also are incredibly aggressive on their marketing. So I'll be very curious to see what when the embargo is lifted, when creators can start talking about it, what other things they're going to show and see. But like I remember unboxing that A350T, it was like an hour of just boxes. I had a pile of cardboard, and it was all really well made. It was good stuff.
I mean, they know how to do packaging right.
They do.
They've always done a good job at packaging.
Snapmaker's the marketing company that happens to make 3D printers, right? That's what they are. And other things, obviously. But yeah, 270, that's interesting. Like, why not go to the 300 and give us a 300 cube? Because 300 cube...
Maybe shipping.
It could be shipping.
Like, a lot of the shipping companies have limited size for guaranteed safety. And if you get too big, you start getting shipping fees for large boxes, but also the cost of shipping stops being based on the weight and it starts becoming volumetric size. That is the one thing that keeps biting us in the ass because we have so much packaging smartly done. So the amount of cardboard we use is almost nothing, and the amount of foam we use is almost nothing because we have nice big air voids in the right areas to keep the machine safe. We, however, take quite a heavy hit because it's volumetric size now. So we have to pay for the size of the parcel, not the weight. Like, we could double the weight of that parcel. Actually, no. The XL is 36 kilos. We can go up to 121 kilos before the shipping cost is afflicted at all because of the size of the box.
Do we know the weight on the Snapmaker? I guess not. I don't see it in the notes.
I'd say about 25 kilos.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit lighter than that. I guess it depends on what they make the skin out of. If the skin is just like a heavy-duty plastic, we might see it be in like the 20-22 kilo range. But if it is like a thin sheet metal, then yeah, 25. The XL is pretty heavy for the fact that it's a lot of air. But the XL, again, a gripe on the XL, it's really poorly weighted. The weight is in all the wrong spots. Because when you pick it up off a shelf, all the weight's in the back. Like, the farthest back possible. And so you go to pick this thing up, and you can't pick it up with your legs. Right? It is all your back. You're just picking it up with the back. It's not fun to pick up and move. But it's also not a machine that's designed to be picked up and moved. So there's that.
But one of the things that I really wanted to touch on as well is, as we've talked about Snapmaker being the marketing company that makes 3D printers, they are heavily marketing financial savings via this machine.
Yeah,
Not
only
just time, but
$350 on the Kickstarter.
No, so that's a different thing. So that the Kickstarter launch, they're doing like a $350 discount on the Kickstarter if you pre-order the pre-order for the Kickstarter pre-order. I'm not getting into that because it's stupid.
Oh, it's the pay 50 get 350 off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's I don't like it. I think it's disingenuous. But that is a different topic. No, so one of the things they're doing on their website is they are putting a really heavy emphasis on material savings because it's a tool changer, meaning financial savings. So like one of them is like you can save $400 in a year by using their tool changer over a Bamboo Lab because you're not wasting as much material. And I thought that was quite an interesting take because they're marketing obviously to a very specific subset of people who are financially, I'm not going to say savvy because you're buying 3D printers. No one in this industry is financially savvy. We're buying printers, but financially aware, where it's an entire full page based on how much they'd save.
Yeah, I'm going through it right now. They really are. They're pushing this. You know, the filament savings has never really been something that people seem to care about with these massive bamboo farms popping up that are doing multicolor models that have thousands of kilograms of waste every single year, and it's non-recyclable plastic. People don't care. If they would push time more than anything, buddy, I mean, that alone, the time savings, like on their website, there's the vase model, 10.5 hours versus 68.5 hours. Now, come on, that alone is like worth it, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, the Snapmaker, their snap swap, if you will. You know, I don't hate it, but yeah, I think they're kind of pushing.
It's interesting. It's interesting that
Pushing odd stuff.
They've pushed for speed, which is generally an okay thing to push, but then it's the money savings. It's just a bit awkward. Like they've obviously, from a marketing point of view, seen there is a market to market it this way. They wouldn't be doing it unless they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
But it's almost against everything we know of. Like, financial savings over time is not something that you normally attribute to 3D printers. Like, this is an inherently costly hobby that we're in because we are a manufacturing business. And
they're claiming 32 millimeters per second, or millimeters cubed per second on the hot end too.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
On a stainless steel nozzle.
Unless they're doing something high flow.
It's ABS at 300 Celsius.
Yeah, like there's no way you're actually doing it. Unless it
No.
is a 30 millimeter melt chamber with high flow, you're not getting those flow rates. Just straight up.
I mean, it looks like they're solving some of the major issues that we see in the industry. Like, they've got 8 gigs of eMMC storage, so you can store a file or 2 on it. That's nice. They've got auto loading. One of the pain points for me with the XL is loading the freaking filament into it, because it takes a while. They've got an auto system. You know, input shaper. It can do the backup, so you do failover.
Yep.
They've got filament
Have you seen the
RFID.
app? They've got an app.
I won't use it, so I don't care.
I won't. It looks very similar to the Bamboo Handy. And on that, it also looks like they've got an Orca Slicer integration.
Yes.
Which looks exactly like the Bamboo style webcam in the middle, moving bit on the right, and the AMS color choice on one bit. It does look like they're building off the shoulders of Bamboo Lab for a bit of it. And I'm not against that. I think it's kind of neat to see this unified push to have these features. I'm not going to use them, but people do. And it's nice to see that it's being trickled down into the rest of slicing tech.
God, I was trying to find their reservation system, and you know what? I hate it too. I'm going to read exactly what's on the website, and you all can go ahead and tell me whether you love it or hate it. Step 1. Pay a $30 deposit now, before Kickstarter launch. Secure your spot with a fully refundable $100 deposit. So is it a $30 deposit or a $100 deposit? Which one is it? Which one is it? You have to, if you click on the reserve now, Jacob. Or you can scroll down.
I'm waiting for the stream to update so I can see where I need to put the screen.
Gotcha.
Oh, bollocks.
Step 2, save $250 plus on Kickstarter. Once Kickstarter launches, you back the U1 using the same email you used for your deposit. You'll unlock your $100 benefit and enjoy launch-only pricing worth $350 plus in total savings. Step 3 is get your full reward package after your Kickstarter order ships. You'll receive your $100 deposit refund once your Kickstarter order ships, which will be fulfilled in batches based on the order of payment. What kind of ridiculous step system is that?
It seems like a scam, the way that there's so many steps.
What kind of weird fundraising system is this?
The worst thing is I've seen this before. I have seen this
Oh,
before
yeah, and it
from a
works.
couple of Chinese Kickstarters,
The Yuffie
and
make
it
had
works.
it. Yuffie make had it.
But I hate it. I hate it to bits. Like,
We can hate it all we want.
it's
It
so
works. That's what matters.
convoluted. And look, just let me buy a thing. I don't want to jump through 16 hoops, get a refund to get a discount on another thing that is not even released yet. Like, I'm gonna give it to them. It's genius. Imagine being able to sell you a pre-order for your pre-order. Like, we're one step away from going down the Japanese route of selling lottery tickets to get the ability to buy your concert ticket. Damn, I should do that. Construct 2, let's do it. Gacha system. We can have a little tombola. The little ball comes out. You go like, number 15 has the opportunity to buy the printer now.
What are you, Ferrari? Where you have to buy all these other Ferraris for the opportunity to get a to get an allocation? Look, I get it. It's a method of raising money. I don't have to agree with it, and I think that it is deliberately convoluted because I'm not certain if it's a $30 deposit or a $100 deposit. And well, here's the fun thing. That refund's going to be well after 90 days after you've put in the money.
Yep.
So how does that refund occur?
That is the shadiest bit. Like, I don't understand how that works under EU law, because
I don't think it does.
It's weird. It's shady. A refund has legal protection.
Yeah.
You buy a thing, you don't get it within such
They've
time,
called it
you
a
lose
refund,
the ability
too.
to get a refund. Like, if you wait too long, they are legally within their right to go, no, screw you, it's outside of this time window. That's it. It's not a refund. It's a rebate.
Yeah.
If that. But using the terminology of refund is problematic. I don't think that will fly in a European court of law.
I don't think people are going to care if it.
Don't think anyone's going to care.
They're not. And if they're able to use this system to get a better pricing structure for the consumer, then the consumer doesn't care. Right? Like, that's ultimately what matters. And they're claiming 6-second tool changes, which is crazy. Like, that's pretty crazy. Now, they're not going to heat up in that time, but like, even on the XL, my dock temperature is like 170, and then print temperature is whatever it is above it. It might take another 15-20 seconds to heat up, do the prime, and then start printing. Index doesn't have that problem because it can not only swap but heat in like a total of 12 seconds or something like that. But I do certainly appreciate that they're trying to do everything they can to describe tool changing without being unreasonably technical, because tool changing is technical. It's a very weird technical thing, but it's kind of the thing that makes the XL system work so well. Is it's not only technical, Prusa recognizes it's technical, and they make it so it's really easy for you to work on. When I look at the pictures and the renders and the videos of the Snapmaker U1 running, I worry heavily about how you're able to adjust how tight that dock actually is. Like, on an XL, you can adjust your docking pressure. You can adjust all of this. And it's pretty simple to do. It doesn't take a lot of effort. But you need to be able to do it, because over time it will wear in and you will get some variance in there. I don't know if Snapmaker's designed that in, and I'll be very curious to see what that looks like long term.
Yeah. Very much so. It looks like it's going to be a good printer, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what the pain points are, because it can't be that expensive. It doesn't look that expensive. And I'm wondering where the cut corners come in. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a teeny bit.
Yeah. Let me see. They marked something. So they have they've referenced different things. but the links to the references don't work. So I need to find where they reference number 1. Number 1 is about PLA. Oh, must be for
Oh,
their
they're
timing.
right at the bottom. Right at the bottom.
Correct,
The
but
data obtained was with PLA filament on a 0.4 nozzle using 0.2 layer heights,
Oh, it
200
must be
millimeter outer
timing.
wall speed.
Must be timing. Yeah. But, you know,
Oh, I love this one. Data point number 4. The data was measured using clean nozzles. Calibrating with an unclean nozzle could lead to less accurate results. And that is on the 0.04 millimeter alignment.
can lead to?
side.
No, it will lead to.
Will lead to.
Yeah.
That is the funniest sentence I've ever heard. Because when was the last time you've had an actual clean nozzle?
You have to for the XL. You have to. You have to
Yeah,
fully
but how
clean
long
it.
does it stay clean?
Oh, pretty much
You have
never.
to clean it after every print. Yeah, you have to clean it every print.
No. So they're saying that tolerance is when you're calibrating. So they're likely doing a nozzle system like the XL is, where it taps a thing from different angles. So because if your nozzle isn't clean, you're going to get some variance in there.
I just assumed they were going to be doing it every print.
No,
Like a nozzle probe. And then it's going to be like, well, I just need to have a perfectly maintained machine at all times.
I sure hope not, because you should only need to probe it every time that you make an adjustment to nozzles. Like when you change out nozzles, you need to redo it. When you even when you do cold pulls, I would say you need to redo it, because you're going to adjust things. Do I? No, I don't, because I don't care.
We've got a confirmation that there is a cloud connection to the printer.
Yeah,
Data
no
note
surprise.
5, detection capabilities will be enabled in December 2025 through an over-the-air update.
Yeah, no surprise. All Snapmaker, I mean, I originally got on them for their data collection issues, right? Like, if you didn't think this machine was going to collect data, you're out of your mind. And to some extent, if users have the ability to opt in versus opt out, I don't have a problem with it. But with the A350T, if you did not agree to the egregious data collection that they had, you could not use your printer. Period. Even if you fed it G-code, the screen made you agree to the TOS before you were able to print anything. And that's what upset me the most about it. Now, Snapmaker has since changed, their tune, but I'm hoping that doesn't come back with this. I think the machine is very pretty on the outside. I'm wondering if they're going to end up with a top hat on it, because without a top hat,
I think there will be. Will be.
Without it, you're not printing
like
ABS.
ABS printing,
Yeah.
ASA printing, polycarbonate
Nylons,
printing,
carbon, or polycarbonate.
anything that isn't like a copier, you need a top hat.
Yeah. Now, you could do the nice way, or you could do the kind of generic way. There's multiple different ways to do a top hat enclosure, but we don't see it yet. And like Snapmaker's always made really, really good looking enclosures, so I'm not too worried about it, but it is something that the machine doesn't appear to ship with instantly, so something you should keep in mind for sure. But I definitely see this as a machine that print farmers will use.
IT is very popular for the print farmers.
I see the Etsy print farmers.
Oh, this is hugely threatening the print farms that have like the P1Ss and the P1Ps, because all of a sudden you've got all the benefit of multi-material on a print that's bigger than the standard like Bamboo Lab print farm
and
machines.
faster.
And that's the big one, is the faster. Now you can do your little dragons with your black eyes and your little white highlights, and you're not worried about color creep and the time taken just to add 2 extra colors. It is going to be a popular machine, and good for them. Like, more competition, better.
Yeah, I hate that this industry is kind of one that, outside of a few companies, and specifically Bamboo on this one, but there has not been a lot of innovation until there becomes threat, right? I firmly believe that Prusa would have continued down the Mark III and the Mark IV platform and not gone to the Core 1 had there not been such a threat. Now, I could be wrong, right? The Core 1 could have been in development way before, And I didn't see it. I don't know about it. I'm clearly not privy to all that information. But it does feel like this renaissance age of 3D printing is because of the swift kick in the ass that we've seen in this industry from companies like Bamboo. Is Snapmaker going to be the swift kick in the ass that we need for tool changers for them to all of a sudden be taken seriously amongst consumers and amongst brands? Because, like, we look at the Snapmaker, where's the cooling? It's on the carriage. It's not on the tool head. This cooler on the XL is garbage. I hate it. It's so bad.
It is so anemic.
It has the static pressure of a mouse fart. It does, and it's 5 volts.
Well, that's insulting to mouse farts. Come on.
It's not much better. And
it is awful.
It is awful. You can work around it, right? And we have, because we don't really have another choice. Yes, we could do the Mastodon upgrade that Ben of InPhase Industries did. And at some point we might. But right now, I don't need it because I've learned to work around it. And mainly that's because of a necessity, not because of what I want. If this fan was 24 volt, we could do a lot more with it. But because it's 5 volt, we run into issues. And, you know, there are mods out there to put CPAPs on every single tool head on the XL. It's a lot.
I hate to say it.
effort,
CPAP
man.
is not the solution to
It's not the
everything.
solution. I think a blower similar to what the Bamboo has with an aux fan is a pretty decent overall solution. It's not a perfect solution again, but it is better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. I'll be curious to see how this machine performs. Snapmaker in general has been seen as the jack of all trades, master of none, and that's where it ends. The rest of the saying doesn't continue with Snapmaker, right? They never did anything great. And if you want to know, like, how bad, the A350T, Jacob, does not use PID.
Sorry, did you just say it doesn't use PID?
Does not use
technology
PID.
that has been used in printers for almost a decade and a half.
Nope.
Because it was basically mandatory to get any form of good layers.
Yep. The bed is bang bang, on off. So PID is where you can modulate your heat, right? So you can keep it at a very consistent temperature and get, you know, sub 1 degree Celsius temperature swings. The A350T is bang bang. Bang bang is like what your oven is. If you have a temperature sensor inside of your oven and you set it to, say, 150 degrees Celsius, and you check the temperature sensor when the oven dings at you to say I'm up to temp, it's not up to temp. The oven knows that it will continue to heat past that point and will hit the temperature that you want. Your oven is probably only accurate to 20 degrees Celsius, give or take. And literally, I had to stop using the A350T that we had because over time you would see rippling in the parts, and it wasn't
like Z bounding.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I set up a camera that I noticed it. You can actually see the entire bed flexing, and I'm like, I can't use this machine. It you know what it's great at? It's great at drilling small holes into things. It's not good at pretty much anything else. And so I'm hoping that Snapmaker can, well, snap out of it for this, because this is a single purpose machine that is built to do a singular thing. So I'm hoping that this moves them into, like, a better territory of machinery.
Yeah.
But I'm
hopeful. I like it. I do like the machine. I am waiting for more to come out. It looks hopeful, though. It looks like it is doing a bit of a shot at the Prusa XL.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, that's the only real competition.
It's the only competition.
So you do have the Proforge. Proforge is a semi-popular tool changer alternative to the Prusa XL, but it's not in the same category of machine. Like Proforge, you have to build your machine.
Right.
It is a kit.
Nut and bolt
and
kit. Yeah.
It is a nut and bolt kit. It is fully open source, which is nice to see. But it doesn't, from what I've seen, It doesn't innovate on any of the individual parts. It just is a well-built kit you put together. Whereas the Prusa XL obviously has innovation, and the Snapmaker has innovation. So
Well, I think that Snapmaker is building upon everybody else, right? I think the XL was a new take on tool changing, where I think the Snapmaker is saying, well, why don't we just take the good from a bunch of different platforms and try to make a baby out of it, right?
yep.
I don't think that the Snapmaker itself is innovating on any one particular thing. It is taking a lot of what exists out there already as a system and doing a good integration. And to be clear, that's all Bamboo did too, right? LiDAR scanning your prints, touch probing, high-speed 3D printing, pretty machines. None of this was things that you could not get in other machines. All of it is something you could not get in one machine. And so you don't have to innovate. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you can build a better tire, you have a $1 billion product. Build a better tire. Don't reinvent the wheel. Reinventing the wheel gets you stuck in analysis paralysis and all this other BS. If all you're doing is putting a better tire on the wheel, then you're supporting an already existing industry. The XL was very much reinventing the wheel, and that's why it took them an extra 2 years to get that thing off the ground. I've literally waited longer for my XL than I've owned it, and I didn't realize that. Now, the machine's paid for itself, but it is still one of those things like Prusa reinvented the wheel. Now everybody else just gets to copy it and enjoy it.
Okay.
And it sucks.
How about this then? If Prusa came out with the Prusa XL with an E3D style tool changer version, and then 2-3 years later came out with what they've come out with now, what do you think about that?
Probably would have bought them both. I don't know.
Because there's always that argument of trying to do what you want to do instead of the easy win, which is just take the E3D style, meant it pushed their entire production years behind. And they could have spent that time still making their current machine, learning about the frame, learning about everything that isn't the tool changer part, and then a couple of years later came out with an XLS or an XL Mark II, which has what they wanted in it.
In the Prusa, like, ethos and all that, there would be an upgrade path. Like, literally, the MMU3 to the MMU4, or whatever the hell they decide to call it, is going to be the first time that we do not see a direct upgrade path from one to the next with Prusa. That's huge.
I see the upgrade path. It's called credit card. Boop.
Well,
upgrade.
Okay, but Prusa has already said, because of all the changes that we're doing to the MMU4, we are redesigning it from the ground up. And I support that. I'm hoping that whatever changes come to the XL, if they do, right? The XL kind of seems to be like a back burner thing, but given the widespread VFA issues on the Core 1, I don't really blame them for setting it off to the side right now. But certainly, I think kind of ignoring a lot of the weird issues that we have with the XL kind of sucks. But again, you can program around them. You can, get your systems to run better without it. You're not getting 20,000 acceleration, that's for sure. Like, I'm running external perimeters at like 2250, right? I'm not even running 5K. I think my travel moves are at 4K because it's not designed to be a high-speed printer. The XL was never designed to be a high-speed printer. And what's funny is if you put the XL next to an X1 Carbon, or any Bamboo machine for that matter, above 2 colors, the XL wipes the floor with it every single time. Every single time. Because that whole process of unloading and reloading and purging and the waste and all that sucks down minutes over and over and over again. With something like a tool changer like the Snapmaker U1, now it will be who's faster, the Snapmaker or the Prusa. And that's a fair
is going to
comparison.
be hard. I am gut feeling. I think the Snapmaker will be. Just gut feeling.
Yeah.
It's a smaller machine. Just because it's smaller. Smaller means faster. Less things to go floppy in big size.
Yeah.
That's literally it. I think that will be it. If they're claiming 32 cubic millimeters per second, which I doubt quite heavily, the nozzle length does not look long enough to do that, but we'll see when we see. That is a lot of speed. And when you are doing 300 millimeters per second, which quite frankly is the top speed you want to be aiming for any printer, you don't need faster than that. Because on a 0.6 nozzle, 300 millimeters per second is 45 cubic millimeters per second of flow. If you're hitting that flow rate at that speed, you don't care. You're printing fast. You're printing a lot faster than most printers.
Oh,
so yeah, like, I don't know. I think this will be faster, especially if they get anywhere close to that flow rate. Like, what is it at the moment? Without the E3D upgrade for the high flow for the XL.
Oh, on the Bamboo? Or on the XL?
No, the XL. The high flow E3D upgrade.
I haven't done that because I don't think the XL has enough cooling to do it. To be honest.
That's the issue, is it's let down by other areas. But even if you added the high flow,
you'll
only
max
a
out
high
at
flow
like
volcano.
27, 26. Yeah.
And if you don't have the high flow, you're like 12 to 15.
Oh no, I get like 18.
What material?
PLA, PETG. PETG, I think I'm down to like 14, 15. But PLA, I can push around 18, 19.
That's pretty good, actually.
This one's running a Diamondback, so I can push a little bit further. This is not a Diamondback neck extruder. It is a V6 adapter. Because I have a bunch of V6 Diamondbacks here. So there is that. It depends, man. It always depends. Each material flows differently. And I hate that that's the numbers we look at. We look at 500 millimeters per second print speed. What, at 50 micron layers? Sure, I can do that on an XL. I can do that on any. I can do that on a Mark III.
For everything.
I can do that on a Mark III. And the high accelerations, again, at what layer height? Certain layer heights you just can't do it.
Accelerations mean nothing when it's jerk. So MLV in the chat saying, I like high accelerations for fuzzy skin. Wrong. You don't like high accelerations for fuzzy skin. Because on most printers that use high accelerations, they smooth your fuzzy skin so it goes faster. You're not getting what you asked from it. In reality, you want high jerk for fuzzy skin because you're never accelerating more than a very small distance. Jerk, however, will do all of it really quickly.
Right.
So you want high jerk, low acceleration to keep the accuracy, but keep the speed. On big, square, flat surfaces, you want high accelerations, low jerk, because then you get sharp corners and high speed. So as a machine design, you have to find the best balance of both. You have to find that middle ground. No, I still stand by it. I think this will be a faster printer. I just don't know how fast, because these numbers mean nothing at the moment until they're verified. Like, we don't even know if the ABS they're using at 280 degrees, which apparently was in the notes as well, 280 was the ABS, is a specific low viscosity ABS.
Yeah. Like the Polar PETG that I've been running. Polar Filaments PETG is currently, now they're switching over to a regular PETG, but they've been using a low melt PETG. I can push like 20% more flow with their PETG at normal PETG temps because, oh yeah, it's being overheated. Their PETG melts, extrudes perfectly fine at 220. Happily at 220 all day. So when you're running 260, well, hey, hold on. That's flowing like water. Makes for beautiful parts. But that's why we chose it for this particular project.
Yep.
Because we needed, time mattered a lot more than anything else that we had. We cared about time.
Yep. It's in the data tech sheets of all of these materials, there is a mass flow index value, which is really good because it tells you at a set temperature how sticky is the material in terms of viscosity. but they never advertise it to the regular person. Because to be honest, who actually cares that isn't me about a mass flow index to work out if their claim of speed is accurate or not?
So that's something that Mitch from Polar actually taught me about. I didn't know much about the mass flow index, and he told me what to look for, what to request. This is what happens when you deal with people that are into material science. You know, and Polar's been really, really good about being transparent about that stuff. And I've had a lot of conversations with Mitch just recently over their PETG, PHA, and some other materials that they're working on. Because, one, I like to support Made in America, right? But two, the transparency is very, very important to me, right? And it's similar with Prusa, right? Prusa has issues with the VFAs on the Core 1. They are not only public about it, but they're being transparent about it. And that matters way more to me than anything else. Because they could do what many other companies have done and just ignore it. And it goes away. It eventually goes away because the community doesn't care anymore. But Prusa says, no, we don't want that. We want to solve the problem. And they don't have a perfect solution yet, but their current, like the update that they're going to be working on is super cool, where they're using the lights on the machine to do stroboscope.
Yep.
So like we're literally going back to the timing belt day, the timing light days where you would hook it up to a spark plug. Like, so freaking brilliant. So freaking brilliant. Will it work? Don't know. But it's brilliant. You know, I look at Proforge and I say, you know, they've got a cool system. Part of me likes the nut and bolt kits. Part of me doesn't. Like,
is it bad? I've started feeling like the nut and bolt kits that used to bring me joy now bring me sadness, because the market has moved on and they just feel kind of just dead. Like they're just ancient.
I want a Prusa level experience when it comes to the manuals on these nut and bolt kits, and I know the Proforge does not offer that. And like that was my biggest, I think, issue with the Voron. And I like the Trident. I had such a hard time building it because the documentation is not great. And I recognize that the LDO kit has separate addendums and documentation as well. And that's not the easiest thing to follow. But the base Voron manual is just not good. It is enough if you know how to build the machines. It is not enough if it is your first time doing it. And like, I would love to see the option from a Voron, because Voron already has the manuals for people that are not first timers. But I'd love to see them have an option for, is this your first Voron? If the answer is yes, send them the first timer manual. If it's not, they don't need it. And if they want it, they can ask for it. I think that we've moved away from manuals that hold your hand. I like to have my hand held when I'm doing kit builds. Is a lot of that because I do it on camera and I don't want to mess up? Yes, absolutely. Most of it is because of that. But at the same time, if you're going to put together a kit build, you need to have a new person to this industry who has never built a 3D printer before build your kit without any input from you or someone else in the company, and that needs to be adequate enough. And if they can't do it, then you're not ready for the nut and bolt kit build market, in my personal opinion. And it's the same reason, like, I have an XL, not an XL, I have a Core 1 kit, nut and bolt Core 1 kit. I am not building it until we have a solution for the VFAs. Because if it is a hardware problem, and we need to replace hardware.
Don't want to build it and then strip
exactly.
it and then build
I don't
it
want to
again.
have to do that. I don't think it's going to be. It's very clear to me that Prusa's system is working better now. And in our Discord, available at the $10 tier and higher, some people have already been testing out the newest firmware, and it is much better. It's not gone, but it is much better. Much, much better, which is awesome. I'd love to see that. But I want to wait until there is a full solution, because otherwise I'm looking at an older machine. And that's not all that fair. And companies that are that transparent, I believe, deserve that opportunity to allow that transparency to go through. Has Snapmaker ever done that? No. No, the only time I got them to be transparent likely landed me on the blacklist. And that's without James Spader. If I'm going to be on a blacklist, I want James Spader involved. You never watched the show The Blacklist, did you?
Nope.
That's fine.
I am watching it. I am. I'm at season 2 at the moment.
The Blacklist.
Yeah, The Blacklist.
With Elizabeth Keane and Tom
Yeah.
Keane. Okay, all right. So James
With
Spader's...
the absolutely stupid incompetence that seems to happen all the time. Because
Yeah,
it's a TV show.
that
and
doesn't
that
change.
would never really happen.
But James Spader's Raymond Reddington.
Yep. I watch it only for him.
Yeah, he's well cast in that show. I believe it is a public firmware. Last I checked, it was. I'm not running any beta firmware right now. I'm keeping my machine on the older firmware while we work through some different things here at the shop, and then I'll do the upgrade when it's official. But yeah, you know, Proforge has done Kickstarters, and they've had less than stellar communication on their Kickstarters. The main people that I see talk about Proforge don't generally have a lot of very, like, terribly great things to say about it. It's like, yep, it works, but the company is difficult to work with. And their documentation isn't great. Their backer communication wasn't great. And, you know, they're a smaller company. The company's MakerTech, right? The company's all MakerTech.
Yeah. So I've met the people at MakerTech. Lovely people. Like, I helped them out at TCT 360.
Oh, cool.
When they were setting their stall up and everything. And oh no, was it TCT? Yeah, it was TCT 360, and we bumped into each other again at, I think it was Maker Central, maybe. Yeah, Maker Central. And yeah, they're lovely people. However, and I think this is like encompasses why there's so many difficulties. They are very small, and this is going to sound really weird. They don't have my mum being able to keep them on track at all times, because
Your mother is good at that.
they are basically doing the same business case as we are doing. They are roughly the same size by the looks of it. It's like 2 or 3 people, and they are trying to do manufacturing, overseas, logistics, import export, compliance question mark, and all of those sort of things by themselves, and they don't have
It's harder
the
than you
luxury of
think.
having
Yeah.
they have realized the hard way how bloody difficult it is to do British based manufacturing,
Fulfillment,
even though they're
period.
outsourcing to China.
No, fulfillment period is complicated. British manufacturing outside of these issues, a lot of these companies are full of engineers. They're not full of business people. They're full of people that can build 1 machine or 2 machines or 10 machines. They're not full of people that can build 10,000 machines. Because
Arguably, they're doing it more difficult because they're getting an external supplier to supply those stuff. They're not making them in-house and then shipping. They're doing arguably a smart decision to rely on the manufacturing size of a more established company in China to keep the prices down, which is good for the people.
But then they take the
But
risk
it
of
also
quality.
means the logistical cost grows because they now need to be on site. They need to be doing all of this. And
Yep.
expecting them to do that is, while expected, also kind of stupid.
It complicates things.
It complicates a lot of things. They are learning through trial by fire, and it is going to hurt until they eventually grow to a size that they can really smooth the process out.
But last
Is
I
it going to be on the next
checked,
Kickstarter? I don't know.
yeah, last I checked,
But
they're going to
be
Kickstarter
better.
again.
Yes.
And I don't currently see that we've solved the current problems that would say that going to Kickstarter again makes sense. It's like, have they just ran out of money and they need to do another Kickstarter to continue funding the work that they're doing? Like,
So they are launching a new machine, but I don't know how much new is in that machine. It looks
well,
like they've got a touch probe for the nozzle and an eddy current sensor and maybe a new motherboard.
but
But
have
that's
we
pretty much
solved
it.
the other issues, right? Again, a mediocre machine with damn good support is a great machine. A great machine with bad support is a bad machine. And that's why it's why I continue to criticize Bamboo, because their support is bad. Prusa's support is starting to fall. And I'm upset at it because Prusa's support has always been consistently good, and now it's really not. It's better than most. It's better than anyone's in my personal opinion still, but I am very skewed with Prusa because I have so many of their machines and I bought into the ecosystem and I understand how to work with the support people because I've needed to before. But Prusa support, as they've grown, has lost a lot of its touch. It's still accessible, which is nice, but it's lost a lot of its touch. And I don't expect companies like Proforge or MakerTech or whomever, or Snapmaker even, to hit that level. But I expect them to not have the issues like Bamboo has, and had considerably worse back in the day. Understand that after sales experience is one of the most important things for consumers.
Yep.
They will run into problems. When you are building a machine designed for consumers, you have to realize that you're dealing with Grant on camera live levels of people. I'm going to make the dumbest mistakes ever when I'm live. I will never make them off camera, ever. I have never accidentally cut wires for a machine off camera, ever. I've never done it. I have never blown up a motherboard, ever. I've only done it on camera. I've never made those mistakes. When you're on camera, you make more mistakes. And that, to me, is where that after-sales support matters so much. And if you can't hit the standard that like 80% of Prusa, and you'll be fine. Many companies don't. And you end up with people that either have amazing experiences with it or they have terrible experiences. It's not fun. And as Catlet says, while it's still better, the argument can be made that it's not worth the markup any longer. And that's the only thing Prusa has left. Yeah. There's definitely
I'd
there's some
argue
concerns
there is like remnants of other bits, but the things that made Prusa stand out are shrinking rapidly.
Yes.
Because other companies are catching up rapidly.
Yep. They moved
And
away from open source.
They can be the top dog for as long as they want, but eventually dogs grow old. And this dog is starting to get up in years. And unless they bring a puppy in to make it fresh and lively again, they have rested on their laurels for a little bit too long, thinking that the industry is going to take longer to catch up. And now we're here. And we have a cool new printer entering the market that is going to threaten the XL. It just straight up is. Like, I don't see the Proforge threatening the XL because it is from a smaller company where there's a lot of question marks when you buy it. Proforge is a hobbyist's printer. The Prusa XL is a industrial printer in the hobbyist space. The Snapmaker, however, that is a fully finished machine. You buy it, it's done. You open the box, it's done. It's not a kit. And it's roughly the same size. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller. But when your choice was the Prusa XL or a kit build Proforge, you always went the XL. It was the only one in the market that could do what it does. Now that you've got the Snapmaker U1, there's a choice. It's how big of a space do you actually need,
to
that
get
the same
365?
functionality?
Yep.
And honestly, not a lot of prints go that big.
No.
Unless you are doing big industrial stuff, most prints will fit that 270 build volume.
I still have some parts that I need the XL for, but certainly if the U1, can solve a lot of the dumb problems the XL has, and currently it looks like it does. If it is going to be around half the price, which I assume it will be, I assume it's going to be... we're gonna put numbers on this again. I'm thinking $2,000 retail, Kickstarter $1,500-$1,600, but $2,000 retail.
Yeah, sounds about right.
At $2,000 retail, the added cost to go to a 5-tool head XL, unless you need the space, it's not there for me. It's just not there.
No, I still see a place for the XL, but you're probably going to end up in this situation where a company will buy an XL and then 4 Snapmakers. So they've got a lot more of the cheaper machine and then 1 XL for that 1 or 2 times a month when they need the bigger print volume. That's what I see a lot of. Because we see it at the moment. We see it where people will buy like a H2D and then 5 A1s. Because they need printing capability, but then they have the 1 dedicated machine
It's
for
like,
the big jobs.
Yeah, I need a bigger machine, or I want multi-material supports, but the bulk of it can be handled by the cheap $600 machines that are just going to pump out prints like it's nobody's business. And that's with the AMS Lite, which I still think is the superior AMS.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, and I'm not really seeing any... I'm not seeing competition in this space, and I don't know why. I think a lot of us were hoping for a bamboo tool changer, but they didn't go that route. And I don't know why. Is there...
There's not much adoption, though. Like, except
but if there's a company
big
to
industry.
have... But if there's a company to have adoption, who's going to do it? It's bamboo.
I think the fact they didn't do it is an indication there just isn't the consumer base.
Yeah, but...
There isn't the people to buy it.
You say that, but Snapmaker understands the marketing. Snapmaker's a marketing company.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, actually, I do kind of get it. Like, I know a company that has 200 Prusa Mark 4S's and 2 Prusa XLs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they keep buying standard machines. They don't keep buying the XLs. And I think that is kind of like, why? Like, the bigger volume is good, but they didn't buy it for the tool changer. They bought it because it's a big volume and a tool changer. And I don't know, it just kind of feels like the industry that requires tool changing is predominantly bigger industry where they aren't going to look at cheaper machines. They're going to look at 30 grand machines and plus, and they ain't going to question it. We'll find out. We'll find out how popular the Kickstarter is.
I'll be curious, because if they don't hit a really aggressive price target, I still think the bulk of the industry that's already in the industry is going to go for an SV08 with an index for a affordable tool changer solution. It's still a kit.
Once index releases, it's
everything changes.
Really ruin everything. Everything changes.
To me, once index releases, unless you are so ingrained into that Prusa Nextruder ecosystem, the reasons to buy a Prusa XL vanish. And I love my XL. But what's the reason? What's the reason to still have it? There isn't. And it gets even better. Put an enclosure on him, SV08. Get the chamber heater from Big Tree Tech whenever they announce it, or they release it, or whatever the hell they want to do. Now you have a heated chamber, Voron 2.4, that's a 350 cube with an index.
That sounds pretty
Why
good.
does anything else matter? Like, index is that... It's literally the ace in the sleeve. That's how good index is. And it's like... I'm frustrated because I want there to be more competition. And I think really the only challenge that index has right now is its ability to penetrate the market. Because index, unlike the U1, unlike the XL, is just the hot end system. you must integrate it into something else. And while, yes, Bondtech is working on those integrations and you're going to have integrations available from the factory, you're not likely going to see anything about... You're not going to see any manufacturers at these low price points integrating Index at all. Period. It's too expensive. Like, an SV08, now the Max is out, or out-ish. I'm expecting the SV08 to drop in price. I like the Max. It's too big. A 350 cube will handle 99.9% of everything that we need to do in our business, and anything that is bigger than that can freaking be made in pieces.
Pretty much. Like, if you get bigger than that, you're either big industry, at which point your price point skyrockets, or you're being stupid, and there's no middle point. Like, if you cannot cut a piece down to be smaller than that size, you need to start asking why. Because you're going to get into limits of polymer technology, not printer technology. Like, even PLA warps when you get to bigger sizes. Once you get past 350 in size, even a PLA part will warp.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's just it's a constant. If a material is 99.9% structurally stable, that 0.1% as you increase that length will be enough to rip it from the bed. And that is why you don't want to go massive. It's why Stratasys machines cost how much they do, because they can guarantee, oh yes, we will print that straight line. Give us your firstborn child. That is the cost of buying that machine.
Wait, that's it? That's pretty cheap, honestly, knowing how much children cost in the US.
They're a renewable resource.
Not the firstborn. That's a non-renewable. Secondborn, thirdborn, kid is fine. Firstborn, non-renewable resource.
No, I never said it had to be yours. You could just take it from somewhere else. Like, oh, here's another. There you go.
And see, Jacob, that's why that the labor and delivery and the baby floors in hospitals have ridiculous security, because of people that say things like that. Yeah,
nobody stop you. You just go by. They're in these little cots. You can just pick one up and leave. Nobody can stop you.
I remember when I used to work in Lakeland. Amber works at a hospital in Lakeland, so I used to go take her lunch when I was there. You know, go get something a little bit nicer than what a bagged lunch could get you, or a hospital food. And I was just used to getting off at whatever floor the elevator brought me to, which was the top floor. One time it was the baby floor, like the labor floor, and my God, the security on that floor. I'm like, I'm on the wrong floor. I'll see you later. Sorry, got off the wrong floor. I'm going to 8. I think they're on 7 or they're on 6, but I needed to go to 8. But yeah, very, very funny when that happened. The amount of security they have on there is ridiculous. I don't see why people want to steal children. They're just financial leeches, but you know, whatever. Oh, there's Amber says, doesn't do it now. You have to have a badge access to get off the elevator now for that floor. Okay, but that was also back when you needed badge access for, like, to get past security, and they eventually recognized me well enough that they just let me through. I didn't need badges. There are many times I got up to Amber's floor in the ICU with no security clearance whatsoever. Nothing. They didn't ask anymore. They just recognized me and they let me through. I'm like, so you're saying I need to convince someone to let me up into... The amount of, like, easily bypassable security stuff that was there was kind of funny. Oh, they don't have a badge for their floor at all anymore. Well, they used to. You used to have to use a badge to get in. But anyways, bygone eras, if you will. Diomedes says, as father of twins, I felt that way bottom. My dad, I have an identical twin, so my parents are parents of twins. But yeah, let's hit that billing department real quick, and then let's jump into, kind of tool changers versus single head multicolor systems. So if you are watching this stream live, please make sure to leave a like, get subscribed, all of those things. does support the channel. Of course, we do offer these streams completely ad-free, so if you do want to support financially, you can do so as well. If you do want to join us on Patreon, PayPal, or YouTube channel members at the $10 tier and higher, you get to come hang out in our private Discord server, where as soon as the show is over, we'll be there hanging out for a little after the show hangout and cool down time, as it was with this kind of thing, because we get a little stressed when we do these shows, but it's fun.
Only a little bit.
It's just stressful, right? But yeah, if you do want to do that kind of thing, please do. 151 people watching, 73 likes. Bring those numbers up. Huge thank you to Printed Solid for sponsoring the filament giveaway that we do here on the channel. You can enter in the pinned comment, or in the pinned chat message, I should say, to enter to win some awesome Made in America Printed Solid filament. Huge thank you to the sponsor of the show, Construct 3D, the UK's fastest and first bamboo 3D printer on the market. It's a business class machine for a business class environment, and if you need a machine that is capable of full lights out production in your business to run when your people aren't, that does not need union mandated breaks, check them out, construct-3d.com, with the Construct 2 coming out very soon, TM. We are excited because certainly that solves a lot of problems for us here at 3D Musketeers, where big parts that need chamber heaters are a huge issue. And well, after seeing their facility, after seeing how well they take care of their safety and take everything seriously, including building machines on actual fixture plates, or granite fixture blocks, something like that.
That's close enough.
Yeah, good enough for government work. It certainly impressed the hell out of me, and I would bet that you'd be impressed as well.
Jacob, that's your
It's
cue.
my turn. It's
That's
my
your
turn.
cue.
There we
That's
go.
your
I was wondering if you were gonna like ease it in and throw me under the bus again, or just let me start with no cue. But as much as that's all fun to talk about, huge thank you to 3D Musketeers, who own the channel you are watching this from and do some absolutely amazing work. So if you have parts that need to be made in pretty much any material you can think of, Grant and the team over at 3D Musketeers can make that part for you. They do great work on consultancy, and if you need something scanning as well, they have all the equipment, way too much equipment to pretty much do any job that you can require. So if you ever have a question, drop them an email, call their work phone. I don't know that number. Check it out on their website so at least their SEO gets a bit better. But 3D Musketeers honestly does a bloody fantastic job.
I can't discuss it, but if you noticed for like 5 minutes during the show, I was not paying attention to what you were saying. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Okay,
No.
well, that's good. I got an
I'm
email.
used to people not paying attention to me.
I got an email about a potential scan job. I will not be discussing this until it is guaranteed. But suffice to say, this one could be fun. That's all that I have. That's all that I can say about that. It could be a lot of fun. But yeah, we just got an email on a Sunday from a company that doesn't work on the weekends, and that should tell you how big of a job this is. So good money, should be a lot of fun. But that's, part of the deal. Also involves a lot of driving. Again, another, probably 10 to 16 hours of driving round trip. So, that's fun. Anyways, so tool changers versus single head multicolor. I have both. Have you worked with both types of machines side by side?
Yes and no. So I was lucky enough to be able to work with tool changers back at my university before I was banned from the university print lab. That's an entire story. And basically, some people don't like getting told, no, you shouldn't work on live electronics while the machines are on. And that ruffled some feathers.
I can only imagine why.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I got banned from the university print lab, even though I was the only one who actually knew how to run the machines, which was really funny when they came back to me in 2 weeks saying, Jacob, can you run the machines again? Because we don't know how to. So I've had a very small amount of experience with the E3D tool changer, but none of the others. As for single head multicolor, obviously we're developing Construct 2 with the multi-material unit, which we still need to find a nice catchier name for. We've got a box turtle set up on a separate machine. I've got a rat rig, which we've set up with a multi-material unit. I've got 2 bamboo labs with multi-material units. I'm fairly confident with the AMS style single head multi-material. Less so confident with tool changers other than what I've licked when I looked at the index.
That's fair. That's fair. Because if you lick it, you own it.
Yep. They wouldn't let me put it in the luggage though.
Yeah, we
So-
tried. We got to send them $1 million.
Somebody obviously licked it first. That's why.
We got to send them $1 million to get one. I'm working on it. We're fundraising currently. Don't worry. But I have both.
So
And even funnier, for a time there, they were directly next to each other. And that was...
what's your opinion on them? Because I have split opinions on both the technologies, and I do have one preference.
I have fun split opinions because I have to now split my opinions to both hobbyist and business side. So on the hobbyist side, if I'm doing something that's 2 colors or materials, no, if I'm doing something that's single color or single material, it is always the bamboo as a hobbyist. Always. Right? When I'm comparing the bamboo to the XL, because that is my current comparison, I will choose the bamboo every single time because the upgrades that I have on the bamboo have made it ungodly fast. It is much more reliable now. And that panda claw that we put in there, I think a lot of the issues that I've had with that machine have been extruder related, and I just didn't understand it. Because, like, I have way less issues now. Like, way less issues now. So, don't know. But if it is something that requires more than one color, or it's a really, really lanky part or has very delicate supports, we'll always choose the XL every single day of the week. And so our XL is set up where 3 of the tool heads are 0.4. So this is one of the 0.4 tools. This is tool head number 3 specifically. Although this is technically tool head number 2 because tool head number 1 is T0. But whatever. This is tool number 3. I pulled it off the machine earlier. I love multi-material 3D printing. We have taken print jobs that have tons of support material. Do I have any of them remotely handy? I don't. Like, the job is like 40% support material, and it's all for like a flat surface, so it's a real pain in the ass to get off, and I had a high tendency of stabbing myself when I was working on the parts. I go now to multi-material. They're perfect. The supports literally fall off the part. It is exactly what I want as a user. And so for me, it's perfect. It's perfect. But for the average user, they're often fine spending less money. As a hobbyist, I don't find myself doing a lot of multi-material projects, and I mostly use the XL because it's there, not because I need it. As a business, and I'm going to remove the ITAR side of my business because it's not fair to put that in there, I think. But without the defense side of our business that deals with stuff that literally I cannot legally print on the bamboo, I will still choose the bamboo for single color materials.
Okay.
And the only time that changes is for multicolor. If it is, like, I have to do a bust of Gregory Mendel for someone. And that reminds me, I should probably get that started as soon as the stream is over. But I'm doing it in multicolor, but I'm doing it on the bamboo. One, I'm doing it for free. It's for a local school teacher, and they wanted it for a lesson that they're doing with Gregory Mendel. And like, yeah, I'm not charging you for that. You're a teacher. You don't make enough money as it is. I'm not going to take what would be a fair bit of money from you for this piece. I'll give it to you for free. And I don't have anything running on the bamboo currently, so that's a great use case for the bamboo. I've got pieces to run on the XL. In fact, I just got in $1,000 worth of parts to go on the XL. So from a business perspective, the XL has a much higher earning potential for us. And so while it does tend to sit idle more often than I would like, because there are other machines that are more specialized for particular parts than the XL is, it does do its job very well. And while we have worked around the quirks of it, it has made it a much easier machine to work with. I will say that the speed of the XL is not there until you're dealing with tool changes. Then the XL wipes the floor with any single nozzle multicolor system, period. It just does.
So that's interesting. I actually have probably a contentious opposite view,
interesting.
where the more you get into industry, depending on the job, I find actually single nozzle multi-material starts to outcompete a tool changer. Where so the main benefit of like single nozzle versus a tool changer is alignment. You can make a very
Right.
rigid hot end system that you know exactly where the nozzle tip is at all points because it's never being disconnected and there's no disconnection sequence. So when you go faster, you start to worry about, am I actually going to vibrate the head of the print off all the bloody time? On top of that, you've got machine complexity when it comes to a tool changer, where as you do tool changes, a benchy, for example, on a 0.18 layer height, roughly does about 1,200 layers. And if you're doing 3 color changes between that, times that amount of layers is however
it
many
gets up
tool
there.
changes.
It gets
It
up there.
there.
Yeah.
You're actually starting to worry about the kinematic system of the tool changer wearing down and then your alignment becoming slightly sloppier.
Yeah.
That's something that I have actually experienced a couple of times. And it's why I actually ended up deciding, especially for Construct 2, one head multi-material means you can push faster without the risk of degeneration of the kinematic couplings.
That's totally fair.
The downside, however, of single head is material wastage.
It's a
If you
ton
want
of
to do
waste.
different materials, not different color, but different material, you are purging 5 to 8 times the nozzle length to clean that nozzle out, to put a new nozzle in, because you cannot afford mixed materials
Right.
coming out. Like if you do PETG and PLA, all of a sudden, if you've done it on a bamboo lab, you know how much you have to purge to clean that
It's a lot.
out. It is a lot.
You're
You
purging
are
like
wasting a lot of
50
material.
or 60 grams. No, maybe it was 30. It was quite a few. Right? You're purging a lot of material. And if you're using it for like a support interface, no problem. Great. Perfect use case for it. But even when I was doing the testing on it, dude, it took me like 3 or 4 prints to really dial in that purge volume, because if it's even mildly contaminated, the parts just
It ruins it.
fall apart.
Yep.
Right.
And that's the main downside, is the time taken to purge and the wasted material. Thankfully, however, from my experience, industry does not care about wasted material.
Right.
Just at all. They want the part in a set quality. So the single head guarantees the alignment quality versus a tool changer where it might be ever so slightly shifted, and that could cause an issue. Then you've also got the side effect of most companies still only use one material. They might say they want multi-material, but a lot of the time, from what I've experienced, it's only for the support material or some form of labeling where they'll do it in a different color of the same material. So it kind of becomes this, well, the added complexity of a tool changer is you've got a maintenance step now, you've got a off-centered like head. Like no matter how you do it, a tool changer, the head will always be off-centered from the rail. Whereas a single head, you can put the extruder above and the nozzle can come down past the rail. So it's a really nice compact system. You don't get that in tool changers.
No.
Because you have to have a mount in the way where the extruder would normally go. Which also limits quality because now it's offset. Except for Index.
Yeah, Index has done a very good job.
All of it.
Because the extruder doesn't move. You're dealing with just really a steel filament path. That's really all you're dealing with, right? And it's got the nozzle in it. So Index kind of solves that traditional issue that we haven't really seen other solutions to before.
Like, Index is the one thing I'm so excited about because it fixed my main issue of tool changers.
Yes.
Which was the tool. It just fixed it.
Yeah.
And it saves material as well, which is a nice benefit. It's not a big benefit, Not as much as Snapmaker is making out on their website with how much money savings.
The
I
material
don't
savings is not that
believe
big of a
those
deal.
numbers. Like, you are not saving 30 kilos of material a year
No, you
by
probably
going
are.
to a tool changer.
You probably are. If you're printing every single day, yeah, you probably are.
Yeah, but if you're printing every single day, then you're not worried about 30 kilos of material of wastage.
I don't think it's unreasonable to say 30 kilos in a year. I don't. Like, dude, the posts on some of the bamboo Facebook groups of people with, like, entire, like, barrels of bamboo poop. It all depends on how much you're printing, right? If you're just a hobbyist printer, you probably won't see the value in the material savings alone. You will see it in the time. The time is what matters so much more from a business perspective. But from a user perspective too, if you can get that multicolored widget in 4 hours versus 14, you're going to choose the 4 hour, assuming the quality is identical. You're going to choose the 4 hour every single time. Why wouldn't you? There's no reason not to.
So to me, like, the choice between tool changer and single nozzle honestly just comes down to how much time am I willing to spend to increase the tolerance of the part. Because that's really it. Like, the decision of tool changer versus single nozzle is even less about the tolerance of the nozzle. It's about how compact you can make the print head. A smaller, lighter print head moves faster, you print faster, and it's got better tolerancing. If you end up going with a tool changer and it's like pushed over to one side, you can induce issues. Like, a heavier head has speed complications. You then get racking issues because it's now off-centered and cantilevered. These are like decisions that you as
The
a
errors can
purchaser
compound.
doesn't have to make,
Yeah.
but from a manufacturing point of view, it does complicate which one do you choose if you were developing your own machine. It's time saving, less material wastage. More material wastage, faster, but slower prints overall.
That question of which would I choose if I was developing my own machine? One, I wouldn't. So that's like my first step. Two, with index, I'm choosing an index.
I'm just choosing index.
Yeah, like, if I was developing my own system from the ground up, I would likely do a single nozzle multi-color unit system, like an MMU or an AMS.
Yep.
Because I think it is a better choice overall, because it is easier to implement. There's considerably less issues when it comes to the engineering side of it. You can spend your time engineering a quality machine rather than spending all your time on the stupid dock and like, and how it's picked up and put down, and, you know, magnets, how do they work, and all these other problem children that can rear their heads in the worst possible ways.
And the dock is probably 80% of the development time of that machine. If you've got a good motion system platform, you share a motion system platform with every other 3D printer. You don't need to develop a new wheel.
Well, because you also got to test
it. But the dock, however, needs it.
And you got to test
the dock
this
will be
stuff.
The weak point.
Like, you can't just, like, you can just ship a hot end, right? You can buy a hot end from E3D and know it's been tested. This dock system is so new. Like, Prusa had to go through months of validation and testing just to make sure this thing wasn't going to be a piece of dog crap. They didn't have a choice. It was required. Whereas if you're using off-the-shelf hardware for stuff, you can get away with just not testing because it's not needed. You know that this hardware, when it goes together, is going to work. You want to test to make sure your kinematics are going to work long-term and things like that. But let's say they did 100,000 docks and undocks of this. You know how long that's going to take? That's going to take months. That's just one machine. Click, 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 for months. For months.
It's like when we did our benchy test. So we've only done one multicolor print so far on our AMS unit. It was jank. It was the jankiest of jank that you've ever janked. It was awful. That did 5,400 color changes
My gosh.
in one benchy.
That's excessive.
And that was just a regular print. So when you imagine that is a benchy, extrapolate that to bigger prints, larger prints, you are going to need to test your kinematic situation 500,000 times. Like, if you want to actually know how that's going to hold up, 500,000. And it takes time. Like, you can't accelerated test one of these things, because what's the accelerated testing going to be? Just run it faster? Like, that's literally all you can do, is run it slightly faster. It becomes a complication that a lot of companies aren't willing to spend, and the benefit is marginal. And I will argue it is marginal. It's a nice margin. Time is a huge saving factor. Like, if you can save time, I would go to a tool changer over single head just for time.
Yep.
But you've got to realize there's now complications with saving time. It's not you can get everything all at once and eat your cake and have your lemonade and all that all at once. If you want to eat the cake of time, you've got to not drink water beforehand. Like, you are losing something.
Like, when I do the piece with a bunch of support material on the XL, it is slower than it is on a Bamboo. It is slower than it is on a Mark IVs. Because I can do it as a single color. Where it wins every single time is the post-production. In what it takes after it comes off the machine.
Yep.
It takes 15 seconds or less to completely, fully clean the part off of the XL. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes each off of the Bamboo. And when you look at what man time is worth, what personnel time is worth, I should say, that alone makes you back the cost of the machine quickly. Like, these 5 pieces that are $1,000, they're just big. They don't need the XL. The only reason they need the XL is because they're big. They don't fit on any other machine in the shop that I've qualified for business case. Like, they would fit on the SV08s, but they're not qualified for business case. They're out in my garage. I'm not dealing with that right now. XL's inside. It's happy. It works. It's fine. But the only reason is just because those parts are big. If I just needed a big printer and I didn't need the tool changer, there are considerably better options out there other than the XL. The XL, in my opinion, doesn't serve a purpose to be made as a single toolhead machine with the entire, like, setup. They could go with a much smaller... They could go with the Core 1 Nextruder design on a single toolhead XL, and it would be a much better product.
Yep.
But I look at and say the XL serves a very specific business case business case utilization for me, but I don't think that it serves a similar use case as a hobbyist. Because as a hobbyist, I look at my time being valued considerably lower. And for a lot, and I have more of it. From a business case, I want to spend more, I want to charge more for my time, and I want to do it less. And that's how I make more money. Right?
Yep. It's kind of got this, like, weird middle ground where the lower end, single head.
Yeah.
The middle, for most of the industry, tool changer. And then you get back to the upper echelons of industry and it's back to single head.
I mean, look.
Which I just find is quite interesting. Like, and I will stand by. If people are really into the Snapmaker marketing of save this much money for how, like, per year.
I hate it.
In all honesty, I have wasted more than 30 kilos of material on a single print, like, over and over again when it fails, versus because I'm doing multi-material. Like, you are more likely to fail the print because the printer failed, not because you're saving material by a tool changer. I only run a small-ish print farm of, like, 20 to 30 machines, like, if that. And I have wasted in half a year, like, easily 200 kilos. Like, it's just, it comes with the territory. And if you're like, oh, but I can save 30 kilos a year. It's like, well, if you're actually worried about that, you need to put your prices up. Like, 30 kilos should not be the profit margin you are looking to claim back to yourself. Yeah, it's nice, you don't have to worry about the 30 kilos of wastage.
I just
But
ordered
30 kilos is
52.
not much.
I just ordered 52 kilos. Like, that was my largest single order that I've made in years. 52 kilograms. That is,
Like, I remember like
that's a lot.
ordering from 3DQF, and I
Mhm.
literally picked up the phone to them and were like, how many of this color do you have in stock? And they were like, oh, we have 19 reels. I'm like, give me all of them.
I'll take it all.
Every single one. Just give me all of them.
Yep.
And then that was it. And I wasted half of them because we were doing stupid prints for a rail company, and the prints were really difficult. And you know what? If I am not budgeting for failed prints, I'm doing a bad job.
Yep. I mean, that's fair. Luke said that he just put in a 1,300 kilogram order. And yeah.
But Luke, what if you could save 30 kilos
What if you could save 30 kilos? Yeah. What if you could save 30 kilos?
Yeah, like I don't like it when people get into waste economics, because waste economics is a legitimate, mature industry that you need a qualification in to understand. And this advertising is putting forward a use case that is to people who haven't had that training.
Yep. I agree.
And that's why it works, because they're literally being able to tell you something like medical advice, and you're not a doctor to know if it's bullshit or not. It's the same thing. Like,
what, WebMD doesn't give you perfect, perfect results every single time? What's wrong with you?
what do you mean? I've got turbo cancer every time I Google it.
I'm in the US, so I tend not to Google my medical conditions because someone's probably going to sell that to my insurance company.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the other big issue with tool changers is you're not just maintaining one tool. You're not just maintaining one nozzle anymore. You're maintaining 4, 5,
It's
9.
And if any single one goes wrong, which is increasing the amount of chance by however many heads you get, your printer goes down. Like the downside of a tool changer is so much greater because you have added complexity.
Yeah.
A 3D printer is simple. There is literally 2 moving parts at best in a 3D printer, which is the kinematic motion system and an extruder gear system. And they are not complicated. They are not doing synchro meshing or anything like that. Whereas a tool changer has immediately 10 times the complexity.
Yeah.
Just straight away. And you have to maintain that.
The thing that's always bothered me about the XL is when you turn on input shaping, it loses its ability for crash detection.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that just has to do with how the input
printers...
shaping works, but it's stupid. I don't like it.
You can get crash detection working. It's just unreliable. So we have crash detection on ours. We turn it off by default. It's there. You can tick it on, but you get so many false flag events where in reality, if you have lost a step and you have to rehome because you've crashed, your printer's still ruined because you were expecting perfection. And now you will get like a micro line or even a shrinkage line because it had to rehome in that time. That's not worth it. Also, one thing people never talk about is when you slip belt teeth, your belt tension changes now because you've slipped a tooth. That either means you're tighter on one side or looser on one side, and you will never get the same alignment. And what happens on Core XY machines, the gantry, if we're looking top down, so you got your motors at the top, your pulleys in the bottom, your gantry going along, if you slip a belt, it will retension itself by angling.
Yeah.
And now your printer's useless anyway. So I don't like crash detection. Just build the printer so it doesn't crash.
That's fair.
And it still happens.
It still happens. Because no matter what, you can still have print settings wrong. You can still have edges that warp up. There are still plenty of ways that it can happen. But like on my XL, I have a 5 tool head. I have 3 of them with 0.4s, 2 of them with 0.6s. Because I almost never use it for multicolor. If I do, it's 2 colors. Right? So like white and black, or black and clear, or white and clear. But what I use it a lot more for is dissimilar materials for support. So 0.6, I can have my major material and then my support material. And that's what we do. That's exactly what we do and how we do it. And it works really, really nice. It is a solution that, to me, means that I have two machines that fit into the space of one.
Yup.
Right? That I'm able,
That is nice to have.
without changing stuff. Because as soon as I have to touch things, I'm losing money. If all I have to do is go up to the machine, click go, I'm set. But if I have to go up to it, change out a nozzle, yada, 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 no. I don't want to do it. It's a pain in the ass. It's expensive. And often, I screw it up. You know, the Cheaties have had some issues with extrusion lately, and it's cost me like 6 kilos in the past 2 weeks, which is a fair bit.
But God, you could save 30 kilos. So
yeah, now I have all these.
I can't help it.
Now I have all these pieces that I don't know what else to do with them other than see how thick does something need to be bulletproof, right? Because like, what else am I going to do with this? Now, it's all pure material, so if we had a way to properly recycle PETG, I would do it and just recycle it down. Because it is, like, they're dead solid parts. Per the customer, not my decision. Yes, I argued it.
Customer's always right in terms of taste, and their taste is thick, heavy parts.
And that's fine with me. It's good money. You know, they did, just this month alone about $7,000 with us, so it's good. And I know my margins. It's good business, and everybody's happy because this is a company that has its own print farm. They have their own bamboo print farm. They are opting to not use it and outsourcing the work to us because they can then take their print farm and use it for testing, validation, verification, and all of that, and they can outsource all the production to us.
That's neat.
Yeah, it is. It's super
now
cool.
That is a testimonial. Print farms come to 3D Musketeers.
I wish I could, like, put the company on it as well, but I don't want to. They did make me sign an NDA, but I don't think the NDA precludes, like, who.
Most NDAs don't preclude who. They just preclude
a
what.
lot of ours do. But ultimately, I look at it and say they want the efficiency to be able to take, I think they have like a 15 printer bamboo farm, a respectable farm.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's very respectable. But what they want to do is focus more on new products and testing new products versus getting out current products. It's also, all of those are ran by one person who this is not his job. So, you know, his job is not to primarily run the print farm. So they had issues with like getting things out on time. So that's a bit of a bummer. But that's okay. We are happy to pick up the slack there. We were doing a lot of the testing and production work for the company for a while. Then they just came to us and said, hey, we want to pay you once a month. We're going to pay you via a wire transfer, but we want you to take over all of our production. Okay. These are pieces for products that cost $250,000 to $400,000. Whatever I'm charging, it doesn't matter to them. It just doesn't matter. Luke Slabs, that sounds like they need Pikas. Yeah, we need Pikas on bamboos and Cheaties, and then Centauri carbons.
I'm currently designing a mount for Pika at the moment for unnamed project reasons.
I think that would be a good move. From seeing the Pika in person.
I like the Pika a lot.
Yeah, from seeing the Pika in person, seeing it run, I think that there is a lot of good value to that machine. Luke, DM me. We need to figure out when we're going to have you on the show. You know, whether it's before you start shipping, after you start shipping. I don't know. We got to have you on the show at some point to talk about it, because I think that'd be a lot of fun. He's printing PPSCF with the Pika this week. Ooh,
That made me tingle a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good
Just a little bit.
It's a good thing. But, you know, the other thing that we don't talk too much about on tool changers, and I mean, Snapmaker does, but not many other companies do, is the alignment. I notice on the XL, now, mind you, I haven't calibrated mine in a while. I probably should recalibrate it every now and then, but the alignment isn't perfect. It's close, and often it's good enough, but the discerning eye can always tell the difference.
See,
And
and that
that's
is
a
what I
bummer.
don't like about tool changers.
Yeah.
If you get misalignment and for that reason you fail apart, there's nothing you can do. It's ruined. Like, it is the biggest challenge, in my opinion, with tool changes. It's not the head design, it's not the bulkiness, it's not the weight, it's not the speed, it's alignment. If you can't align it to where the printer thinks it is, you are going to eventually write off prints. Like, if you're trying to just do like text on a top layer,
Yeah.
and the text is off by even half a nozzle width, that is enough to ruin that entire print.
And that's where that CXC from Ember Prototypes really comes into play there. It's like, you can adjust your nozzle offsets in Prusa Slicer. I don't know what Snapmaker's going to allow, but having some level of adjustability would be nice. And yes, Sip of Coffee closed loop would help with that.
It wouldn't.
To some extent. Well, if
wouldn't.
you're using the right type of closed loop, it could, because it could verify.
Well, because the problem isn't the closed loop, because closed loop does the carriage, not the head. The problem is if the head is offset on the mount.
If it's not rigidly on the mount, then yeah, it doesn't matter.
There's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the challenge. That is always going to be the challenge, is how does it mate every time in the exact same position?
What I would like to see is a pick and play style system where every single time it makes a tool change, the first thing it's doing, putting a camera on it and checking to make sure that it's where it thinks it is. For pick and place, it's to check to make sure there's a part on it and to make sure it's what orientation it's rotated in. Though, and you can have fiducials on your hot end, you can have it on your part. There are ways to make this better. But I think a lot of it currently is very software limited more than anything else. I think right now, the software is what is limiting tool changers because there's only so many of them on the market. Now with the Snapmaker and it likely running Orca, I am very curious to see how much better Orca gets to run with Prusas. Because, like, the big benefit of a Prusa machine is you've got Prusa Slicer, it's well developed, it works well, the profiles are good enough. They're not perfect, they're good enough. And it works. If you try to use that same profile, like the XL profile in Orca, it is nowhere near as good. It's not as refined. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to see different. If we can get Orca to bring up more of the tool changing, because it's open source, that can trickle down into Prusa Slicer, but at the same time, it puts Orca in a premium position to be the provider of tool changer slicer
It's
software.
so funny you say that, because I've literally just started talking with a software engineer into cracking how Bamboo Lab got their integration working with Orca, so we can open it up for generic systems. Because that's the big thing. If we can open it up for generic systems like a Box Turtle, for example, then you can just run a script on a Voron machine or on a RepRap machine and just link it similar to how Bamboo Lab linked to Bamboo Slicer. You get all that functionality of click a button, it loads the materials in, it knows what materials are there based on the printer. You can QR code it in, not QR code, RFID it in, so it automatically syncs as well. Like, all of that becomes possible.
Right.
And I think it is doable. Like, Orca is open source, which means the code is open source. It just is very obfuscated, and some of it is hidden inside the Bamboo Lab printer. But now that we've seen from the Snapmaker that they have done something very similar, it really wouldn't surprise me if they figured out the hard work and we can just like open up the book and go, oh, it's all these little things here, and then let's take it and open it up for everyone else.
That would be ideal. And again, you know, I think a lot of Prusa development is pushing toward the Core 1. It does appear like the XL's kind of on the back burner, but with so many staff members at Prusa, who the hell knows? You know, I would love to see, like on the Prusa Slicer side, like Schmitty says, we need those built-in calibration tools in Prusa Slicer. Oh my god, we need them so bad. The built-in
For a
calibration stuff
company
for
that
Orca is
spends so much
tremendous.
time, yeah, for a company that spends so much time developing Prusa Slicer, I am so surprised how long it takes for them to get basic features from Orca back into Prusa Slicer.
I think a lot of it, um, I think a lot of it has to do with that they're working on something else. Then all of a sudden that new shiny comes up and they have to make the decision of, do we split the team and do both things slower, or do we go down the path that we're continuing till we hit that finish line, then we go back and implement it as well. Like, that's where having like two primary softwares, and to be clear, there's more than just two, but in this specific case, we're talking about two. But that's where having these two specific slicers become an issue. I mean, same thing with Orca, right? Orca can take a fair bit of time to implement something, but being a much smaller dev team than Prusa, they've got a little bit more autonomy because they're not like a part of a larger conglomerate that has to make a business decision for the business of, do we support the community as a whole, or do we work on continuing to support our specific machines? That's a difficult decision. And certainly part of it is what you pay for with Prusa Slicer. I do wish we would see more of Orca taking from Prusa, but right now there aren't a lot of reasons. Orca's already got most of it. So I'm hoping that the next big iteration of Prusa Slicer, where it goes into 3.0, right, is like a OMG kind of change. It's all of it's better. Because otherwise, Orca does start to become the de facto standard, even on Prusa machines.
Yeah, like the quality of life benefit of Orca has just been so huge. It's why we dropped Cura Slicer as our official slicer of choice. Like, we used to only develop profiles for Cura, and then we were developing for Prusa Slicer at the same time. Orca showed up, and literally within 2 weeks of us looking at it, we just went, nope.
It's
If
just
you're
better.
not going to use Orca, we're not going to support the others. Like, yes, you can still load our printers onto both because they're just print profiles. It works on every slicer. But half the issues we actually had with the initial batch of printers was because of Cura, not because of the printers. Where, for example, and I can't believe they removed this from the latest version of Cura. Cura used to have a max volumetric flow option in the settings, so you could set.
It's not there anymore?
Gone. Me
Okay.
and the software engineer I was talking to, Chris, were looking for about like 2 hours to try and find if they've renamed it or they've hidden it behind a different setting somewhere. No, it is gone, which is the stupidest problem, because volumetric flow is really the thing that determines quality.
Yeah. If you're
So
flowing
you know
too
his
fast,
machine. His machine has the crap Wanhao duplicator i3 clone,
Oh god.
and we were trying to like determine what the settings were, and then I realized, oh, his volumetric flow is way too high because Cura allows it. You can set whatever speed, and Cura will just go, yep, do it, and it will strip the filament.
Yeah, I much prefer where you say, this is what I want the max speed to be, and then I set my max volumetric flow rate, and then it just figures everything else out. You know, I do prefer that. That's so dumb. And yes, Luke, they're still owned by
Yep.
Ultimaker.
But it's Ultimaker with a capital M now, because rebrands.
I
But no,
don't
like,
think
and just for that reason alone, we dropped it. We went to Orca, and we're never looking back. Once we become a bit bigger, we do intend to become an official sponsor of Orca Slicer because of how good it is in the industry. Like, these are projects made by makers that deserve to be like pushed forward,
Yeah.
and they deserve all the success they get. Hell, if big industry can use Orca Slicer on their Stratasys machines, which I know they're doing because that's what they use now, because Orca Slicer just works on everything.
Wait, Stratasys is using Orca now?
I know I don't know if it's Stratasys themselves, but I know at least
Yeah.
2 companies
I know
that
there are
use
people that
Stratasys machines
they'll crack their
on
machines.
Orca Slicer.
Yeah, they'll just crack their machines.
And these are not small companies.
No.
And I kind of wish we had something like the Blender Initiative, where bigger companies, instead of going, screw it, we're going to make one ourselves, just throws a bunch of money at the devs at Orca Slicer, and then it gets funded that way. Because Orca is used now at every echelon of 3D printing,
That would be
and
ideal.
it deserves it.
Yeah, it would be absolutely ideal if that is what happened. I agree with you. But I also look at it and say, we've got a problem where companies don't do that. A lot of them just reskin it, call it their slicer, because what they want is they want the ecosystem for the buyers. Right?
Yep.
They've realized that having the brand recognition is likely more important for them right now. But that's it. They're not, and a lot of them never update it, right? Like Cheaty Slicer, Elegoo Slicer, they're all multiple revisions behind. They never update it.
Yep.
Because these are hardware companies. They don't care about the software. When in reality, they should just put out legit profiles for Orca and be done with it. Like, and I agree. I think what Orca should do is like, look, if you're a manufacturer and you're going to submit profiles, there should be a recommended donation amount. Don't force it, right? There shouldn't be a force, but certainly there should be a recommended donation amount, whether it's $100, $500, whatever it is. There should be a recommended amount to help them maintain the fact that this stuff is not free. It costs a lot of money to make. I don't know. I look at it as
that's just my opinion. Is we should support what the industry uses, and
we just
it hurts because we've gotten used to free stuff.
Yes.
We've gotten used to Prusa Slicer being free.
We've gotten used to open source equals free.
And it should still be free. I don't like it when things get locked back because money grubbing, and it just makes the industry worse. But it annoys me that all of these multi-million pound, sometimes even multi-billion pound companies rest on the laurels of 20 to 200 free developers in their spare time just trying to make a damn thing work when they bigger companies can't. Like, if I'm trying to find a nice company that is really big, but they generically use Orca. Oh, Raise 3D.
Aren't they
Raise
using
3D has
Idea
their
Maker?
own slicer. They have Idea Maker.
Yeah.
Most people that I talk to use the Orca version.
Because Idea Maker's not... Idea Maker it has a couple of nice features, but otherwise there's not a lot of value that it brings to the table that other slicers don't bring as well.
I actually have to open Orca now. I need to find a good example printer.
I think
I know
Sovol's
there's
probably
loads.
the biggest one right now that just uses Orca.
Yeah.
Does Sovol have their own? I don't think they do.
No, I don't think they do. But the point being is, like, if these companies, their entire backbone of we can use this printer on this slicer is the point that they're profitable, maybe they should start supporting the slicers.
They probably
Like,
should.
It does hurt me, and I am actually going to check the GitHub just to make sure Sovol isn't the only company that supports. I know there's like 2 companies that support Orca Slicer at the moment. Oh, Orca became #1 GitHub repository of the day.
When?
Neat. I don't know.
Okay.
It's on their thing. I'm looking at it now. Sometime in February.
That's cool. Layers of Lily is asking if we've considered interviewing Soft Fever. We have, and we have reached out. Soft Fever prefers to be a more private individual and has denied an interview. They want to maintain their privacy, and I wish they wouldn't.
That.
I would love to interview them, but there's respect to be given there.
Yep.
So
it's Quiddy Tech and Big Tree Tech. Those 2 officially give money to Orca Slicer.
Sovol doesn't?
Nope. It's
Oh,
not
they
a
give
lot of
money to
money
the
either.
Voron project. They give money to the Voron project. I'm surprised
Yeah,
the Voron
it's not
project
a lot
doesn't
of
support
money.
Orca. I think it's like
Yeah.
$1,000 a year to be on that page.
Oh, it's less.
Is
I
it?
think it's 500.
That's
I think it's
nothing.
500.
That's cheap.
I did talk. It might have changed since.
Mhm.
I, as much as I wish I could throw money at Orca Slicer, if I'm not taking a wage, I'm not throwing money at free projects until I take a wage, because then it comes out of my pocket, and I want to pay for it myself. I don't want it to be a bit of a bullshit business purchase. But no, we've got Anchor Make on here. We've got all of the Anycubic printers officially on here. All the artillery printers, BQ, Congro. They're not cheap machines.
Yeah, there's
Obviously,
hundreds
every
of
Creality machine.
Yeah. There's like
all
9
of
pages of
Elegoo.
Creality machines.
Flashforge is on here.
Yeah.
Hell, all the FL Sun stuff. Like, these are not small companies.
Mhm.
These are companies that could easily like drop $1,000.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't even notice it in
No.
any of their metrics. And it's a
Yeah.
shame. It's a real shame. Like, the Orca Slicer is the backbone of the additive industry at the moment. The fact it's not being supported is insane to me.
It
Like,
would be
just straight up
ideal to
insane.
see companies just directly support them. You know, and maybe that's something like as a content creator that I can push for and say, you know, look, you guys are like Snapmaker. They're running Orca. They even say it that they're running Orca.
Hmm.
Are they going to run a skinned Orca? You bet your damn rights they're going to be doing it. They should be supporting Orca financially. There's no reason they couldn't, right? They're selling these machines for, even call it $1,000. There's profit to be made in there. And they're able to give $1 a machine, right? Like, but structure it like a license deal. Just do something to give back to, you know, the community. Because if you continue to take and take and take, and you don't give anything back, the people that are doing all the giving might not be as, you know, motivated to continue to give. And that's exactly why Prusa's moved away, in my opinion, from open source. Companies were taking and taking and taking and taking, and they weren't doing anything when it came to giving back. So I don't look at companies that do what Prusa did or what E3D did and say, you're doing it wrong. Their hand was forced by everybody else just cloning them. Now companies still do clone them, but now Prusa and others have recourse to go after these companies and say, no, you can't do that.
Support the damn makers. Come on. They're literally the backbone of this industry. They need more support.
They do.
Hell, half the technology improvements that have been coming out to the printers is because of the makers.
Yes.
Like, you wanted PEI beds? That wasn't companies. That was makers gluing PEI sheets onto steel. And that became the first PEI bed. And now every printer uses it. You wanted Core XY to be as popular as it is. Well, guess what? That was hobbyists again. You wanted heated chambers. Yep, that's hobbyists again. Oh, well, didums. Okay, maybe Stratasys owns 15 million patents on the concept of heat, but that's a separate matter. They weren't ever going to share that.
No.
But all of it, even like Clipper, which is the backbone of every 3D printer at this stage. Like, if it wasn't for Clipper, RepRap firmware wouldn't have been under threat and been updated.
No.
If it wasn't for Clipper, none of these cheaper machines would be even possible to function, because Clipper's input shaper is the sole driving force of high-speed 3D printers, ignoring RepRap firmware because they're their own little walled ecosystem of development. But every machine you buy, you can thank Voron, you can thank Clipper, you can thank the makers, and then these companies just take from the giants, which are the little people, and make themselves bigger. And it just sucks. It just hurts. And Sip of Coffee in the chat saying pressure advance. Hell yeah. Pressure advance is such a huge bit, especially as we're getting longer and longer nozzles to go faster and faster. If we didn't have pressure advance, we'd be stuck at V6 nozzles. Pressure Advance makes volcano nozzles possible. It makes 30mm nozzles. It makes Pika possible. If you didn't have Pressure Advance, you wouldn't get that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, so where does this leave us with the Snapmaker? Right? I am optimistically hesitant with it.
Yeah. I have good feels with no evidence.
Snapmakers, now, they had their, they had an IDEX, the J1, I think is what they called it. They had an IDEX machine that, from the people that I know that had them, worked really well, but you don't see people talking about them much anymore. So I'm wondering how they lasted long term, or if just realistically there were machines that did what they did better. And that's how I've always looked at Snapmaker. It's like they don't make a bad product, but at the same time, they've never really made a good product. What their products do is they just look gorgeous. Right? They're a company that made a machine that looked like a bamboo, like styling wise, before bamboo was a thing. And oh yeah, it was a bed slinger. Right? It was, the A350T is a gorgeous machine.
It is gorgeous.
I feel like they fall short when it came to the software on it, because software would have allowed PID and things like that. Nonetheless, I would love to get one, but until we know the price of it, I'm not putting my money out there. I'm not going to be going through this whole convoluted down payment thing. I'd rather just pay more money, knowing that it will go on sale for different reasons and things like that.
But I'm a researcher by trade.
Yeah.
My job is to look at convoluted things and understand them. I am not even going to think about whatever system they've got for their refund process. That's way too complicated for me. I do not care.
Yeah.
Show me a checkout button. That's all I care for.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No.
It's not worth it. It's way too complicated.
It's very, very,
I don't trust it one bit.
Very complicated.
Also, anything that they say, we will refund you something after you buy it.
It's in writing.
Brother, yikes.
It's in writing, so you could go after them for it, but do you really want to do that? Like, look, they can't afford to take your money and run. Well, I mean, I guess they can, but they'll never be able to do business in this industry again. But Snapmaker just feels like a combination of Anchor, Bamboo, and E3D, just mishmash together. You know, they've got like the styling of Anchor Make, which of course, RIP in pieces. They've got the styling of Bamboo. They've got a lot of the same similarities to Bamboo, but they're putting a lot of the marketing that we see coming out of Eufy Make now into it. And so
this is definitely a print farm focused advertising.
At what point does this machine become a buy? And this is not your Kickstarter price. What is your retail price? It's like, well, I just have to have this.
I would say anything less than $1,000 is an instant buy.
Oh,
like,
well,
this
yeah.
machine, for a tool changer, it's an instant buy. I'm trying to think of a good value, though, for it. Like, I know this machine is going to be popular for universities. It's going to be popular for schools. It's going to be popular for print farms. That it becomes very aware it's for print farms when you are seeing how much money you're saving by going to their machine. They are trying to give you that financial edge which a print farm requires. I think between probably 1,200 and 1,400. I would like to see it. Like, the problem is it's from Snapmaker.
Yeah.
And they don't have a good track record, but they have a track record of expensive equipment.
I think if it's around $1,500, like, I'll look at it and say, maybe.
Yeah, so like 1,200 is like 1,480 bucks. And I'd be happy with that.
I think it's going to have
Roughly.
to retail under $2,000 because of its
Well,
270 volume.
if you're going above $2,000, you're fighting with the H2D and you're
Right.
losing.
Yeah, it's not going to win against
You
the
can't
H2D.
fight against the H2D. It's a bigger printer from a more established company with arguably better quality control because Snapmaker has never had a reputation for good quality.
And while the H2D
It's
isn't
middling
a
quality.
tool changer, it isn't, it's an IDEX machine. Or no, it's just a dual extruder machine. It's not an IDEX.
It's a 3-point dual
Whatever
extruder.
you want to call the H2D, it can only do 2 colors the same way that the U1 can do 4. But for the vast majority of people, that's enough. And they'll use the AMS for other stuff.
Yep.
I think
How
that's okay.
often are you actually going to be using more than 2 materials at once?
There's
Not
a few
colours, but
times where we
materials.
have, but it was more for because we can, not because we should.
Yeah.
So.
But no, I would say like the 1,500 mark, like the £1,200, $1,500 mark. This becomes a very interesting buy because you can get 2 of them for the price of a Prusa XL.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 3 of them for the price of a Prusa XL with 4 heads. And yeah, 4 heads.
No, yeah, at $1,500. Well, Prusa comes in 1, 2, 3, and 5. Or is it only 1, 2, and 5? It might be 1, 2, and 5. It doesn't come in 4.
The 5 then. Probably the maxed out Prusa XL, you can get 3 of these Snapmaker U1s.
At the $1,500 price point, yeah.
That is a value proposition that is very hard to complain about because it's not a small printer, it's a middle format printer. It's got 4 tool heads. It's a nice design. None of the spool holders at the back bullshit that we're used to nowadays. I like them on the side. It's nice to see. And it's cute. Like it looks like it's got a good UI. It uses Orca Slicer. Like honestly, it's going to be very difficult to justify a Prusa XL unless it is the size and the company. Those are the 2 things that justify Prusa XL now.
And long-term reliability. That's the caveat with Snapmaker. Is it gonna last? Is it gonna be supported long term? There's a lot of questions that you have with the company Snapmaker that you don't have with the company Prusa, right? And whether you think I'm a Prusa shill or not, I'm not. Anytime that we have received any compensation from Prusa, it has been disclosed because otherwise it would be a federal crime. But Prusa does have the most reliable tool changer on the market right now because they're pretty much the only one that isn't like a nut and bolt kit. And I'm sorry, but when you're building a nut and bolt kit, the thing that makes it reliable is how you build it. With that being said, the XL, even on the mostly assembled, right, where it's not the nut and bolt kit, you still have to do the most complicated thing for the XL, which is the docks. They only use 1 screw to hold the docks in, and I really do think that was they should have used an engineering misstep. Yeah. Because it uses we'll get that to focus at some point, but it only uses 2 pins and 2 magnets. Jesus, just focus. Thank you. It only uses 2 pins and 2 magnets. So it's hard to tell. Okay, there it is. These 2 pins and the 2 magnets are the only things that hold that machine and that tool head on. And if your dock is a little bit off or a little bit loose, when it gets grabbed by the carriage, it's a lot and it can come out of place. Let me see if I have my gram scale handy. It's not a drug scale. I don't do drugs.
Shut up.
That's a crime. But let's see how heavy this
that.
tool head is. Oh, look, the batteries still work. Cool. Overload. So that doesn't work.
I'm just going to go check their website.
How heavy? Wait, what can this handle?
Probably only up to 100 grams.
200 grams. That's not good. That's heavy.
Okay, I have weights. It is, now we're going to have to do some math. 27.9 kilograms for a single head.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're
And for two heads, it's 29.3. So it's roughly 1.2 kilos of extra weight when you go to a dual head setup. So we're probably looking at 500 to 800 grams plus a wiring loom.
Well, the wiring loom is actually pretty heavy. I would guess this is probably 300 to 400 grams, probably about a pound. But it's still
it's definitely heavier than 400 grams because a Hemera body with a nozzle is 350 grams. And there's a lot more going on there.
Yeah,
I'd say it's about 600 grams.
I'm like trying to find things that can work on the scale so I can be like, all right, how close are we kind of thing compared to the XL. But it is not light, and the problem with the XL is a lot of its weight is above the locks. Like the lock and dock systems down here, a lot of your weight is up here.
It's an awful cantilever design.
Yeah, like this is a covering for electronics, but you've got a lot of weight right here. This is your planetary drive extruder system. That's thick. That's thick. So certainly heavier than I think I would want. But that's where Index comes in and says, well, you only need one extruder. You can have as many heads as you want. We'll just take the middle part out of it. You know, we'll just take the middle part out of it, and that's it. We're done. So, I don't know. MLB says, doesn't the extra extruder add a PSU? It does. So yes, there's a PSU added in there too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I know there's been people asking about the Yumi. It's dumb. It's very dumb. It's dumb. And it's dumb. No, but you want to talk about cantilevered mass? The Yumi is a 12 tool head or 12 color AMS bed slinger. Jacob, where are the spools stored?
Is it by any chance above the printer on the top of the bloody A-frame?
That's correct. It's got about the same center of gravity as Dolly Parton.
I hate to say it because
it's a dumb design.
Obviously, a lot of people like it.
It's a dumb design.
It's done a stupid amount of money on Kickstarter.
It's a dumb design.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
it is so stupid. I hate it. If
they offer an off-printer solution for it, it's just
cool.
I like it for the 12 roll AMS thing, right? The machine itself doesn't appear to be anything special, just looks like a bed slinger, right? But yeah, the Yumi, I looked at it and said, why? And it's raised a lot of money, but like, why? It's just why?
Yeah.
Then of course, everyone, the Nocturnists, don't do Dolly Parton like that. If I'm wrong, you're welcome to call me out, but until then, I'm right.
They're calling you out because you're right. They can't handle the truth.
Yeah, and like Skypaper says, it looks like an average i3 clone. It does, and I'm sorry, but in this day and age, i3 clones don't work anymore. You have to do some sort of innovation to get people's attention, other than putting 12 spools on the top of your machine. Look, I got duct tape too. I can do that if you want.
Like, it kind of does just look like a discount version of the, was it not Color Fab? Because that's complete night. The Chroma, Chroma Head, Chroma Print, Color Print. There was a Kickstarter, basically exactly like this from like
that was Chroma Print.
Chroma Print.
Yeah,
like this just looks like that, but with a modular filament system.
Or
Co-print. There we go.
Co-print.
Co-print. Thank you, guys.
Or is it Chroma Print?
I
Damn it.
I don't care. It was stupid then, and it's stupid now.
Yeah. And, the concern, so, like, I would say that there's more faith in me to back a Kickstarter like Snapmaker versus one like Yumi. Because, while, sure, they might be a small company that's trying to get something done, at the same time, they're also a small company that no one's ever heard from. And not being well known out there and having a bunch of money raised puts you in the same problem that Micronix had. Making 1 or 2 machines is easy. Making 10 to 15,000 machines is very difficult. Ask any manufacturer out there. It is very, very, very difficult to make a lot of machines.
Also, do you want your printer to look like it has a radar dish on the top of it? That is a legitimate question you have to ask yourself.
Speaking of
You're going
Kickstarters,
to have to get your parents to come in, see your printer, and they go, "What's that?" And you have to explain to them why your printer now has a radar dish size, like rectangular box full of filament on the top, and tell them it's not a stupid decision.
but if you could make it rotate.
See, I'd be up for that. Just...
When we look at Kickstarters, though, Automat. Have you seen the Automat 3D guys? Or the automated guys? Yeah.
I quite like it. I do appreciate that sort of
I
stuff.
saw it at Rocky Mountain. We didn't have a chance to film with them, but they did get fully funded. So that's a big
I'm
deal.
glad. Like that sort of build plate removal system is quite literally one of the...
It's a poor man's
features in-
AFS.
Straight up.
Call it what it
Like,
is.
I know several companies on the industrial sector where their entire fabrication pipeline is, we put a load of printers in a shipping crate with a robotic arm to pull the prints off. That does the same thing. That's why I love it. You don't have to spend 600 grand on a printer system anymore. You have that. And I love it because it works.
I think it's very cool. I can't wait to see it out, like, fully fleshed out a little bit more than it currently is. Right now, it feels very alpha. It's a project that I think is worth supporting. I think there's a few days left. I think it's worth supporting. I don't know if it's worth backing a Gen 1 product like this, but I think it's worth supporting, if that makes sense. I saw the system working at Rocky Mountain. They had it hooked up to a Bamboo, and for you bamboo farmers out there, or machine farmers in general, that's lights out production on a whole different level. I asked them kind of the big questions that, like, Prusa deals with the AFS. How do you know where the plates can go? How do you know what plates are clean and which ones are dirty? I have some small concerns still about, like, parts sticking to the build plate after you take it out. Like, their way to pop the build plate off, Prusa uses a pin system to push the build plate up. Yep. They kind of just, like, drag it. They pop it up too, but they just drag it. And I'm wondering if that dragging over time will create some issues, but...
Probably will. Even now on my magnetic plates, which are higher rated than most, we do get scratch marks on the stuff by just pulling the plates in and out. And that is pulling it up and then out and in. Because I rest the back of my plate against the bed to align it. That's my system. At
the same time, if you're able to do lights out production and, you have to replace your bed sticker once a year. Oh,
Have
that's
you tried
so
replacing
hard.
A bed sticker?
Buy a new machine.
Don't try to replace your bed stickers.
No, they're terrible.
You can.
Yeah, they're
but
terrible.
Oh my God, that magnetic rubber material just tears.
It's better to freeze it.
It tears. And because it got hot, the adhesive is so stuck to the layer below it, you are not getting it off without a scraper.
No, we normally freeze them, and that's the better way to do it, is you freeze it, and then it comes off in sections, and it cracks off rather than kind of gooey peeling. Yeah, you could just buy a new bed too, but there are certain aspects to someone who is looking to do that type of automation. You're more concerned about downtime than you are anything else. And so realistically, it is simpler, easier, and more cost effective to just replace the machine from a business perspective than it is to do that level of service. Changing out a hot end,
Actually,
no big deal. But anything else,
you know what
it's not worth it.
the pro strat would be is just to put another sticker on top of the old sticker.
Catlet says you can melt it off with acetone. Assuming that works and doesn't harm any of the other
I
plastics on
am
the machine.
going to try that. I have 3 beds I need to strip, so I'm going to try that.
Oh, have
We
you
were
tried?
testing
Have you tried
adhesives.
throwing dollar bills at it? That seems to work well in the States.
Unfortunately, no.
No, see,
I
there's your
haven't,
problem.
no.
When in doubt, just add another zero. So try a $10 bill, and if that doesn't work, throw 100.
Well, the problem is, like, we can't throw $1 bills, and throwing like pound coins at people generally doesn't end well.
Oh, I guess you got to start with a tenner then.
Nah, I'm not bougie like that. Do you know how many coffees I can get for that? 1, because of inflation.
I don't drink coffee. This is just pure ADHD fueled exhaustion at this point. Speaking of, you've probably seen me yawn a bunch in this episode. I am fundamentally exhausted because if you don't follow me on Twitter, you won't know, but if you're not in the Discord at the $10 tier and higher, where we will do a Patreon hangout after the show. My well pump pressure switch shorted and caught fire 2 days ago in a storm.
Yes, the water device caught fire.
Yes.
Very ironic. I know.
The thing that senses the pressure and tells the well pump to turn on or off caught fire. I don't ask a lot of questions. It happened. And there were a few options. It was water ingress that shorted a connection that caught fire, or the well pump is screwed. Thankfully, it was the former and not the latter. We got lucky. However, I've been out in the sun all day yesterday in 43 or 44 Celsius heat index temperatures and 36 degrees Celsius ambient temperature. It was terrible. It is fundamentally sucked the life out of me, but I rebuilt it all. I used better connections, so we built it better than stock. Okay? And it works. I have water. So, I am freshly showered. I don't smell. This is great, because boy, I tell you, after working a day outside, you're like, social distancing makes sense right now. But yeah, like, I'm a little bit sunburned. Like, my face is a little bit red, but yeah, I'm exhausted from all of that work. It's a lot more work than you think, and working out in the sun just zaps the energy out of you. So, yeah. But anyways, the way that
At least it wasn't me setting something on fire, so I'm not complaining.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I didn't set it on fire either.
So that test is coming later this month, and if anything does catch fire, it'll be in the Discord.
Oh, for Construct 2?
Yep.
Nice.
We've moved on to the destructive testing stage.
Mm.
So we are going to dump 10,000 volts into the power supply. We're going to turn off the safeties. We're going to try and see how many times the hard thermal limit can cut in and out before it fuses. Those sort of things. Because safety. Also, we will be setting the printer on fire at some stage to test how flame resistant it is. Because it needs to be flame resistant.
I've got a really big propane blower here that will check that.
Well, so the way you can test it, and one of the important things is we have to set the entire bed on fire to see if any of the surrounding printer catches from that, and then we have to ignition coil into all of the surfaces to see does it catch from there, and does it drip, and does the drip catch fire as well? Because safety, you can't afford to risk it, and if it goes wrong, somebody dies, and it's not worth it. You just had a power flick. You had 2 power flickers. Is your UPS feeling good right now?
Totally fine. No issues whatsoever. Love my UPSs, baby. We can run off grid for hours. I think well, no, because the editing PC is on. How many watts are we drawing? About 180 watts right now. So about 6 hours on the pack on this side. That probably only has about 4 hours. Internet only has about 3. So without me hooking up the solar setup to the stuff in here. But yeah, welcome to Florida.
Oh,
But yeah,
bloody
food. What kind of food talk can we do? And we didn't do food talk yet.
I'm currently nibbling on the lovely Lidl's own sweet mix. So got my sugar for the day. No, what did I do? On Sunday, I made Scandinavian king prawn on ciabatta rolls.
Fancy.
With a pan-seared smoked salmon on a biryani side, and it was really nice. I wonder if I got a picture of that actually. I went round to my friend Sam's house, and he's only in Lincoln for a very small amount of time. He lives down
Oh,
south.
yeah, that's right, because we didn't have a show last... No, it was 2 weeks ago we didn't have a show. We had a show last weekend.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. So he came up for this month because he's at university.
Okay.
I'm so proud of my boy. He went to university after working for way too long and is actually really, really good at his course, and I'm really happy for him. So went to his house. It's the last day that we could really see him before he drives back down to Plymouth. And we looked in the fridge, and there's absolutely not much in the fridge. But somehow we were still able to pull out it's half eaten, so my apologies.
Looks good.
But we had some really nice food that we made in scraps. And that was great. And we made it for me and my friends. And it was lovely. Felt good.
Very nice. Very nice.
There's a little food talk.
I'm trying to think of... I finally had the business meeting at the Vietnamese place, so I had some pho. Forgot to take photos of it, sorry, but it was very good as usual. Otherwise, yeah, it's been a weird week. Oh, okay. So both times my well has given me trouble was when I was making poke bowls. The first time the electrical box kind of rattled itself out. I have since repaired that problem. But both times is when I made poke bowls, because like when I ship over $1,000 of stuff in a day, I like to kind of reward myself a little bit, like grabbing a piece of tuna out of the freezer and making some rice, chopping up some veggies and all that. Like, that's a good reward for me. Both times have resulted in me losing water. So I'm not going to be making poke bowls anytime soon.
No, you've got to put the new pump in and then try it with that.
I did not buy a new well pump. I don't need a new well pump.
The pressure regulator.
I already did that.
Okay. Now do the poke bowls.
I was gonna say,
and if it breaks again,
you don't want to know how much a new well pump is. They're thousands of dollars.
That's what AliExpress is for.
No, so the pump itself is not bad. They're about $400 to $500 for the pump. It's the installation, because the pump is like theoretically a couple 100 feet below the surface of the ground. So you have to pull it out, and you need specialized equipment to do this, traditionally speaking.
Something every day is arm day?
No.
Just keep pulling it?
No.
Just pull it?
No.
Just pull it.
Bop
pull
it. Twist it. Bop it.
Oh.
So, yeah, a lot of it was like, although I rewarded myself yesterday, I went and had a Costco hot dog and a slice of pizza, as one does. Oh God, Schmitty said, "Don't drop the pump." My dad dropped the pump. We didn't have a well after that. Oh no.
No. Don't recommend that. Don't recommend that one bit.
No. Yeah, it's the original well pump to the house, and theoretically it should be fine. But the thing that concerned me the most with everything was that the breaker let everything catch on fire before it tripped.
To be fair, that's because American breakers are made of paper mache. Like, just put a proper breaker in. Don't use your crap ones.
I mean,
Like,
it's
what do they call it over there with the ground interrupt, whatever? It's standard
ground
over here, so we just say
GFCI.
breaker.
GFCI.
Yeah, whatever that is. We don't care. We have them by default over here because we actually know what safety is. Just put one of them in. You'll be fine.
Look, man,
Do it.
it's outside, and I think the thing that I put out there just wasn't rated. There will be, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it a video, but I'm gonna make a rain cover for it, so that rain will shed off of the box rather than sitting on top of it. So I'm going to do that. If you guys want to see it as a video, I can make it into a video, but otherwise I'm just gonna make it because it needs to be made. No, Jacob, you can't send me. I know you're looking up the cost of a breaker to send to me. That's exactly what you're doing.
How did you actually know?
Because F said
That-
Jacob Lord sent him a proper breaker. I saw it. So yeah, I'm
They're not
just
expensive.
no, they're not bad. I have GFCIs in the
do it.
house.
Well, you should put one outside now as well. But your GFCIs are $45. What the
So the
hell?
problem with outside in Florida is it often just rains sideways. So like I have some GFCIs outside, but they are pretty much consistently tripped. Because there's
Okay,
enough
so
there's enough humidity in the air to trip them.
how many amps do you want for your breaker?
Well, that one's a single phase 240 at 20 amps.
I can get you 100 amps for 22 quid.
Look, man, I'm working with what I got. Okay. I'm working with what I got.
Like the
But-
cheapest one that includes
look.
like 50 amp with ground faulting is like $5.
I did the peak geekdom thing. I went to the hardware store once. I bought more than I needed, and the only reason I went back the second time is so I could return the stuff I didn't use. And outside of having it all in inventory, I did it perfectly. There was no better way that I could have done that. I got lucky. There was enough extra wire that I could just cut back the wire until it wasn't melty and a few inches past that. And I could cut the sheathing, and it was a little tight, but the way that I did it is much more secure than it was traditionally. So ultimately, I'm happy. And now I feel a lot more comfortable doing it. So
Good.
I fixed some rust issues, did a little bit of painting, but yeah, we're going to do a rain cover for everything so it sheds the rain off. And you know what's really funny about this is we make a product like this for a customer.
And you don't even use it yourself.
Well, theirs
That's
is for
even
gas
funnier.
lines, specifically for the gas valves. They make a cover that sheds the water off in a rainstorm. Because I guess the water can have differential in temperature when the sun comes back out. Then the UV can be... it is a product that makes the valves last longer. That's all that I know. Right? And it's funny because I've been making them for this company for years. It's just very funny to me that this is what... I'm like, oh, I know how to make these. We've designed these for this customer before. It's no problem.
That is
So
quite fun.
I just got to do it. I'll make it out of like, I was going to do FRABS, but I realized nothing else is FRABS. So I'm just going to make it out of ASA.
I've got some for you.
I do too.
I've literally been making print profiles for that at the moment.
I do.
It actually doesn't suck as much as I thought.
Does it smell
Everybody's
really
been
bad?
telling me no. Doesn't smell of anything. Now that could just be the carbon filter is doing a good job, which it's not. It just doesn't smell. It just smells like regular ABS. I just finished Pet GV0, and that didn't smell either. And I have almost completely given up with Nylon 6 V0. I cannot get Nylon 6. Well, okay. I can get Nylon 6 to print good. Nylon 6 V0 is coming out like it's foaming. It's not wet. I put it in a blast dryer for the last 5 days at 95 degrees. and it still came out kind of foaming. And I just gave up. Like, I've tried every temperature. I've printed as cold as 250 degrees. I've printed up to 280. I've tried different speeds. Whatever additive they've added to, and this is Spectrum PA6 V0. Whatever additive they've added, it saps nozzle heat away. MLV in the chat asking what V0 means. It's
Fire
a
retardant.
flammability rating. It means it can't catch fire, and if it does, it immediately extinguishes itself. AKA, they added some funky shit to it, and it don't burn.
I can tell
Except
you
now
that
it don't print either.
my well pump pressure switch cover was not V0.
Yeah.
Not only did it
Yeah,
catch fire, it burned for a long time.
Yeah, whatever they added to this nylon 6, I cannot print it faster than 15 cubic millimeters per second. It saps the heat of the nozzle away faster than a 50-watt heater cartridge can warm it up. I don't know what they've done. Nylon 6 does not act that way. Nylon 6 prints like butter when you heat it up. I print it quite hot normally. And this just will not heat up. It saps all the heat away. It prints like it's cold, but then sputters. So you end up with wisps all over the place, but it's not wet because I blast dried it in 4 different drying cycles. I tried 4 days at 60 degrees, 4 days at 70 degrees, 4 days at 80 degrees, and then 4 days at 85 to 90 degrees. It's not wet, except the top surface is rough. The sides are rough. It's got pitting where it's not voids from moisture. It's just inconsistent flow. Lowering the flow rate doesn't help. Raising the flow rate doesn't help. It is the worst material I have ever had the displeasure of using. It is terrible. I even emailed Spectrum themselves to go, hey, could you give me some advice on this? Here is a picture and a video. Here's the drying cycles I've used. What do I need to do?
Are you saying that you should get the packet loss shirt? Because it says I'm on the Spectrum and I'm dropping packets, and use the code FUISP10 for 10% off the shirt on shop.3dmusketeers.com.
Wow, that's really smart. Wow. And if I did that, I get to continuously have a piece of 3D Musketeer merch with me whenever I want. That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, maybe you'd wear it on the show.
Hey. I can go and put my long bed cat printer shirt on.
Or you could just buy new shirts. Because they gave you a code for that.
I don't want to abuse your code. Your code is nice. I get one time to use it. I'm not going to abuse it.
Galaxy's Edge 3D says, I have a question for post-processing. Should I sand, then filler primer, then Bondo, or sand, Bondo, filler primer? Sorry, totally unrelated. No, you're fine.
If it's PLA, do not sand.
Why not?
Oh, it melts the PLA and it gums up and then it balls.
Okay, don't put a lot of pressure on
PLA.
it.
No. It's the heat of the sanding.
I look, if you apply light pressure, it works well. Yes, bench scrapers work best. You could also wet sand PLA. I will traditionally do a light sand, then filler primer, Bondo, spot filler anywhere else that I need it. Then I come through, level everything out. Another light coating of filler primer, regular primer, sand it back down smooth once again, then paint.
Now, if you skip the sanding phase at the start, still go over it at least once to key the surface. Like, you just scrape up the surface, don't sand. That's my personal ways. I don't sand the initial print.
Yeah, it works too.
I will, if it's in PETG or ABS or anything, I will sand. But PLA, I won't. I scrape card for PLA. And then I key the surface, and then I use like wood filler, like a plastic-friendly wood filler. And then I sand back from there. One that I have done quite recently, and I actually really enjoy, is resin. Just brush on resin, let it cure in the sun, wipe it down, and then sand that. It's so fast, it's scary how good it is.
Just be careful because resin is toxic.
Yeah.
Please. You can do that. Uncle Jesse's done a video on it. I thought he did a very good job kind of explaining it properly. and I don't have too many issues with it, but you will want to lightly rough up the surface of your part if you're going to do the resin, simply because it doesn't really grip all that well. And for some materials like Catlet says, you can vapor smooth. So you can vapor smooth as well if you want to.
Yep.
So he said a very sanded PLA, am I cooked? No, you're fine. If it hasn't started to pill up on you and get stuck, then you're not sanding it with too much heat.
Yep.
Traditionally, when I'm
If it
sanding
does pill
PLA,
up-
I do it by hand.
If it does pill up, get a blade and just
Yep.
drag it across the surface. That's all you need to
Scrape
do.
with a
And
razor
then it
blade.
will fix that surface.
Mm-hmm.
And blades are so cheap. There's no reason not to.
Oh, yeah. So, I think it's a good place to stop. It's a little shorter than we normally do, but I am exhausted. And I'm not certain that I can physically focus on this any longer.
Oh, we should do a poll to end the stream on.
Okay.
What did people think of the background? Improvement, yes or no?
Okay.
Because that's the main thing. I'm trying to improve my side as much as possible, make the stream a little bit nicer, a little bit more engaging, a little bit less just me and my workshop. So there we go. And obviously, if you're in the Discord, you can also give color combinations that you want to see on the next videos. I would be happy to change the colors based on what the viewers say.
Don't do that.
Oh, we could get some absolutely disgusting colors.
Yeah, but keep it consistent. Keep it consistent. I can't do what you did. It's not possible in my room. But it's cool. I dig it.
It's great. It's like even like my side lights are.
Yeah, he's got like this whole lighting setup over here. Like my entire lighting setup is less than $50.
I got the little cubes.
It's so much.
I should not look directly into that.
Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe
got-
you shouldn't.
Another one over here.
Another one. Another one.
And I've obviously got that one.
Also,
And
don't
then
forget
I've got
to
the monitors.
don't forget to sign up for the printed solid giveaway. We'll do a giveaway right after we do our sign off for you all. So, anything else before we call it, Jacob?
Yeah, I think that's everything. I think we've done a really good job breaking down at least the lesser known aspects of the complications with a tool changer. Because that's the thing not a lot of people have experience with is tool changers aren't as straightforward as what people expect. There is a higher level of maintenance people need to do.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about food for a little bit. Unless I do have one last thing. I've never
Pancetta?
tried these. I've never saw these in Lidl before. They're pancetta crisps.
They're gonna be good. It's pancetta. Like,
So we
what
could
else?
try that live, or we could try it after the stream.
Nah,
ends
try it
where
after the
people are
stream.
so high.
And that way, if
There
you
we
want to
go.
come hang out with us after the stream, we will be in the Discord. $10 tier higher gets you into the super secret Discord via PayPal, Patreon, YouTube channel members. Links, of course, that are all in the description. That is all we have for you all today on this 236th episode of the Making Awesome podcast. And because I told Jacob I'd let him do it this episode, I'm going to do it instead. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. Don't forget to leave a like and get subscribed. And as always, keep upsetting everybody. I mean, keep making awesome.
Screw you, Grant. He's doing this, so I took a photo of
He
where
took
I
a photo.
hide.
Yeah, it's very
So
funny.
I never remember the outro. I remember it in my head. The moment I speak it, it falls apart. So I've got a little notepad document open just behind the camera. And it literally just has the thing. So I can look directly into the camera and upset you and tell you, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the script to say goodbye.
Yep. So, all right. We'll see you guys
Oh.
later. And, well, we're not going anywhere. We're just ending the stream so that we can give away stuff. Okay, bye.
Say but goodbye.
Yeah. All right. Let's give away some filament.
Woo!
All right. Let's shut off responses. There
Okay.
we go.
Recording is stopped. That is
Yep.
now remuxing. Oh, how long was that video?
What? That's
3
like
hours and 30 minutes.
3.5
Oh, that wasn't
hours,
too
give or
bad.
take.
I did not feel that long.
Remember, we're still live. So,
Are we? I didn't realize.
yes, Jacob, we're still live.
I didn't realize.
All right. Let's get
People
the
love seeing the
names.
slightly more chill behind the scenes after the stream ends. And
I think they do
even if
too.
they don't, I'm going to keep saying that anyway because it makes me feel good.
Shuffling a bunch of times. How many spools should we give away, people? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. How many spools? How many spools should we give away? And I think, is Steve streaming? Oh, damn it. I forgot to post that we were live now. Oops.
Oh,
I went to my
God.
Twitter and I'm like, oh, let me see if Steve sent me a message that he's streaming. He didn't. And I see that I didn't post it. Everyone wants me to give away so much. I don't have that kind of time.
Do you want to do
y'all.
3? Do you want to do 3? 1 for every hour.
All right, sure. Let me see. This is a name that I don't recognize. So let me see if they got everything right. Where's their name? It's always the hard part. Ah, there they are. Okay, PPE Kayla. Kala? PPE Kala? Sure. You have won a spool. Let's see if we can tag them. Let's do another one. And you must be present to win. So you have to be here to win.
Make sure you like that video before the stream officially ends. This is the time to pump up those numbers. It looks great on YouTube when you get a sudden spike.
Ooh.
Oh?
I can't give it to that person. Bad math. Bad math. So that one goes back into the piece, if you will. And we have a lot of names in here that I haven't seen before. Birdman Anyweather has won a role. Let's see if they're in the chat. Yep. Yes. Okay. Birdman Anyweather is in the chat. Please message me on Discord and I will get the spool taken care of. Let's see. So that was a confirmation. And then let's get one more done here. Then we'll see if Steve is streaming.
Still waiting for our editor to see the message I've left him. He's not going to be happy with
No,
me.
he's not going to be happy with you. I saw it.
Yeah. So for anyone still watching, you know, like when I put the picture-in-picture up so you could see my screen, I was supposed to be recording my face at the same time. I clicked the wrong recording window. So while I was recording my monitor, so we've got that, I stopped recording my face. So now we can't smoosh them together. Good one, Jacob. We'll get used to it. Eventually.
And then the last one is Glitchy RB. So that was our last winner. All right. Let's go see if Steve is streaming here. Let me see if he's currently streaming. And if he is, we will redirect over to Steve. He should be. Like, I assume he is. He almost always is. Is it the Micron build? I'm hoping it is, because that's where Micron R1 update part 3. Okay.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Well, then that's what we're going to send you all. My Discord's at 3D Musketeers. So just at 3D Musketeers. Super simple. But, all right, y'all. We are going to be heading out. Enjoy. If you are a part of our Discord, come hang out with us there. Otherwise, leave a like on your way out. Take care. Enjoy yourselves. And I hope your well-pumped pressure switches don't catch fire in the middle of summer in Florida. Okay, bye.